How's it going, everybody? I'm Kyle from Fantasy Forge Studios, and I know this screen looks a little dreadful. It's just Max. However, we will be joined by Cole a little bit later. Dane is here, but he's just unable to turn on his camera for today.
I'm here.
And
Don't worry.
Connor won't be here, so we are missing Belvin. But for the meantime,
What's up?
You've got our two beautiful faces to see, and then Cole's eventually when he does show up. But yeah, welcome back. This is Everlast. It is a tabletop RPG of my creation here at Fantasy Forge Studios. And yeah, we're back with episode 58 of the Adventures of Eclaas, where they are currently on a pirate adventure. And who knows, they might be, well, probably not who knows. I'm pretty sure they're going to be fighting some pirates today, so that'll be fun. And yeah, let's go
Avast ye mateys.
Avast ye land lubbers. I don't know what that is. That like land lovers, but just lub? I don't know. Nobody knows.
I don't know.
That's a good question. But without further ado, let's go ahead and have our two players that we have right now introduce themselves, starting with Zil.
Hello, my name is Zil. Well, actually, my name is Max. I play the character of Zil. I don't even know where my camera is right now. I'm looking straight ahead, and you guys are to my right. We're doing great. I'm Max. I'm in yet a new backdrop. Welcome to my parents' basement. And Zil is the orphan of Helix, the blacksmith extraordinaire, the future Refinium prospector, Waffle House, and the Teapot of Madness. Got a lot of nicknames. He is a slightly naive, wants to help where he can, orphan from Helix, the capital city of... It's the capital city, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, capital city of some empire of some kind.
The kingdom of...
I know the kingdom of Helix. I know the lore, I promise. No, I don't. He is the party tank. He swings a big axe and he gets in the way. And he gets hurt a lot.
That's what he's good at. And he's also apparently good at healing too, meaning healing his wounds up. He gets hit, and then as soon as it gets hit, his skin starts to.
He's got the highest defense value of the party. Finally retook his rightful place there. He's got an absurd amount of HP.
Yep.
It's quite nice. Although anytime I get worried, everyone's like, boo-hoo! I'm like, yeah, but guys, I'm worried.
But that's because you worrying is still twice our HP, so...
Yeah, but I lose so much more HP in a round than y'all do.
Yeah.
I can't.
Tell that to Belvin, who gets eaten by birds and mountain lions.
Yeah, Belvin does it to himself.
He does.
I have no sympathy for Belvin. That's all I got.
That's Zil. Luxalia, I can go ahead and introduce Luxalia. She is a Glyven from the Silverwood. She is a Shrine Maiden of Amaterasu, and she is the party's mana wielder. And so where she excels is healing and also exploding people with all kinds of elements of mana and manic arts. And yeah, she's a holy one of the group. She's definitely quite pious and well-learned. She is currently on a quest to not just convert the nations, but also learn more arts and everything, and she has a mysterious background and all that kind of good stuff. You know, the usual things for Luxalia. But yes, normally played by Cole, and will be played by Cole today, just at a later point when he does arrive. And so that's the quick introduction on Luxalia, which brings us to Yuki.
Hey everyone, my name is Dane, or Forge here at Fantasy Forge Studios. I apologize not having a camera today. I am not home and I don't have the proper setup for such things. I am here though, and I'm excited to play. I play the character Mistletoe Yuki. She is a silver dragon from the Refinian Peaks. If you look on the map, here I can even point it out. So right here, Flamongolith, right in that area. So she's from that area, and she comes from a family of instrument makers. She is a bard class, however, she's not your typical supporty bard, though she does have some support. She is actually a physical DPS, so she is a blade dancer. And so she uses 2 broadswords and dices the competition through graceful movements. So she's pretty cool. She's also kind of on a journey to understand and seek Alomnia more. Her virtue at the current moment is completely maxed out. That's not entirely why she's on this journey, but at the same time, it's also fitting why she's on this journey with a high virtue right now. So she's pretty cool.
Yeah. Absolutely. Which brings us to Belbin, who's kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum. He's real struggling down in the dregs of vice, but he's maybe getting better. You know, he takes penance letters and he uses it as toilet paper. He's training with a demonic sword. He's doing all that kind of stuff. But no, he's a physical DPS and typically played by Connor. He is an oblate, which allows him to punch things like crazy. And he used to have the highest DV out of everybody in the party, but that's no longer the case. I'll just say that. And he's pretty quick, he's pretty stealthy, and he's mischievous. Known for murder every now and then, which is not good. And that's probably why he's at the position that he's in. And he's also a collector of many rare / odd things, such as spines of creatures, such as dorsal fins of zombie sharks, and
heads of bears.
And pirates.
Just recently, he got rid of his pirate head and put it in a chest. So, you know, you never know what he's going to do. But, he is currently, right now, helping out with the lookout position on Alomnia's Breath. And we will mention this a little bit more later. But he is currently spotted a couple pirates off the shore, about a couple miles off the shore of Aishan Island. Yeah, when we get to that point, that's where we'll turn it all over. And then the last character is Thordane, who is the captain of the Alomnia's Breath. You know, the ship that the party sales on. But he was a undefeated WrestleMania champion until he just recently, last episode, got dethroned by Kokoro, the robot girl. And yeah, he is a cool being. He is a ranger, so he very much excels at guiding people through wildernesses, but he is kind of taken the mantle as kind of the guide of the party and also kind of ranged DPS to a degree of the party. He's one of the few characters, I guess other than Luxalia, that has a lot of ranged attacks, and he uses his bow to great efficiency from the back lines, and so that's pretty cool. It's very interesting, and he is a man of science, and he's young for an elf, but he is still quite long-lived, in like the 120s, 130 year range, and yeah, he's pretty cool. He's kind of a DMPC at this point, so yeah, he's just there. He's along for the ride, which is nice and cool. So, anything else? Yes, me. Hello, I'm Kyle. I am the lore master creator of this game. Before we go any further into it, just a couple quick things. Fantasy Forge Studios and Kyle LaFonte own all copyrights in the text, images, video, audio, graphics, storyline, gameplay mechanics, and all intellectual properties involved in the creation of Everlast. Don't take it and sell it for your own, but feel free to use it for your own homebrew stuff. We are very slowly making our way to making Everlast available to the masses via the Tabletop RPG, but we do also have a trading card game that is currently in production and in the works. Our first Kickstarter was very successful for that, for the raising of Helix and the Heroes of the West sets. And so for those who did back the Kickstarter, thank you. I look forward to those. And we are currently also working on the creation of our next set. For the next Kickstarter to come out at some point later in 2025, which is very exciting as well. Dane, do you have any announcements before we do get started, before we go into some recap?
Not too much, considering I think that a lot of them can be saved for the end. I do know that Cold Forge Great Max will be this weekend. I believe, right, Max? Different?
That is the schedule. I just realized that today. No, my wife's best friend is getting ordained a priest tomorrow, and his first mass is that evening. So we're gonna be there.
I will be streaming Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
I didn't realize that it lined up with what should have been Cold Forge Great Axe till about an hour ago, and have not yet had a chance to talk to Cole.
Yeah, it's a weird month. So
my
like,
apologies.
As far as like the stream schedule goes, so you're good. So yes, Kyle will be playing some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on Sunday. Aside from that, again, look forward to those of you who did help back the first Kickstarter. As of now, unless anything's changed, I think everything is still kind of on track. And yeah, we're really excited for the production of the next set, which is going to be sick. So look forward to that.
Yeah, it's also a great way to get to know some of the various characters that are involved in just Everlast, as it were, such as NPCs. You see there's a bunch of like shipmates and stuff on Lamnia's Breath. There'll be a future set to come out, the whole like inland strait sea pirating adventures, but gets you to know some of the characters and NPCs before the actual tabletop RPG is released. And so if you haven't backed the Kickstarter or anything like that, go check out our website. We have an entire Everlast tabletop RPG section, but more importantly, TCG section, where you can go and actually look at the set lists for the Heroes of the West and Raising of Helix there, where you can kind of see some of the characters that are coming out and all the cards that are coming out. So if that's something that interests you when the unlimited release does happen this summer, yeah, just make sure to check that out. And it looks like we have somebody who is joining us from the ether.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Cole.
Hey.
How's it going? Welcome in.
Welcome.
Just in time for introductions.
Indeed. Also, just a heads up, I can't stay long because I have an early shift. So,
Also,
but I will
I
stay for
don't
as
know
long
if
as I
you
can.
heard.
No, I
We're
did.
not stream. Okay.
No stream on Sunday.
My apologies for
Mass.
not talking to you sooner.
Nope, you're good.
Oh, I guess because of that, let's just get right into it then, Kyle, shall we?
Let's do it. Cole, do you have a camera today or no?
I do.
Sweet. go ahead. Just before we do anything, so I don't just keep this Luxalia for too long. Hey. I love it. Okay, cool. And with that, let's go ahead and dive in, so to speak, to the recap of the adventures of Eclaas Eeas. So, Eclaas Eeas, they are a wonderful adventuring party of individuals from all over the continent of Everlast. They all met up and are, well, we're supposed to currently be on vacation at Aishan Island here on the map, this big island down here. However, they got roped into all kinds of things, such as defeating demons, defeating cultists, underwater sea creatures, and also becoming the keeper of the Earth Key, one of the 4 elemental keys that belong to the protectors of the various elemental pillars in this game. So there's the Earth Pillar, the Flame Pillar, which is at Flomberge, which is an Aishan island by Aishan volcano held by Nalgoric Cragheim. There is the Sea Pillar, which is in the Bay of Feshenfey, held by King Ferrind of Feshenfey. And the last one at Skyspire Island, held by Aldreg Monteblair, who is a Glyphex inventor of some kind and ex-sailor. But he had to escape, and the lot of previous episodes that we've had of Adventures of Eclaas Eeas kind of detail the finding of Aldreg Monteblair, the keeper of the last elemental key. Eclaas Eeas did grab him and nab him off of Folden Rock, and they are back on board en route for Aishan Island in order to have the meeting of the keys. There are a bunch of demonic activity, and especially from the events of Folden Rock, from what they've discovered, is there's some nefarious shenanigans going around in the seas of Everlast. And so they are going back to Aishan Island at Flomberge to have this meeting of the keys with all of the leaders of the various pillars. And as they were sailing along amongst the Great Sea, they did pick up a individual. They found a shipwreck who, the surviving individual, a guy by the name of Horatius. He is a Vaeldun elf. And he warned them of a ghost ship that is out basically on the waters that hides itself in kind of fog, endless fog. A ship that they are familiar with, as they had fought King Ragnik and the pirates at Folden Rock previously, before they, I guess, left Folden Rock. But now they are sailing the high seas and are destroying ships. And so they rescued Horatius, and they are making their way back to Folden, or to Aishan Island, to where they had a fun... What was it? It was a Creole night. It wasn't Pirate Night this time. It was Creole night, where they crowned a new WrestleMania champion on board Alamnia's Breath, which is Kokoro. She ended up becoming victorious over...
I think she should be disqualified for not being a human or sentient.
That's what
I don't disagree.
Why don't you, Max or Dade, why don't you go ahead and just briefly explain to Cole, since he had to dip out early for that part, what happened as far as a result for that WrestleMania?
She destroyed everyone.
Yeah, like,
Because she's a robot.
and Zil said this was gonna happen, and Yuki did nothing.
Well, it's just what it is. And she is just a better man than everyone else on the ship.
Better wrestler.
She's not a man.
I'll say
It's
I'll
a better
just-
robot than anyone else.
I'll
on the
say
ship.
this though, the modifiers and stuff did not matter. I had
didn't,
Connor
no.
rolling for Kokoro. Connor was just rolling higher than everybody else's rolls. So
I don't know if Connor was rolling higher or if we were rolling lower.
Oh, we were rolling horrible. It was so
The
bad.
mechanical roll always wins.
Yep.
exactly. It has unlimited energy. So
But what we're gonna do is on this pirate ship, we're just gonna throw her onto the pirate ship, and then she can be WrestleMania extraordinaire over there.
But after this Creole night and the events of the wrestling, Sariel invited Belbin up into the mast, into the crow's nest, to basically verify something, where there are 2 ships, pirate ships with black flags, sailing a couple miles off the coast of Aishan Island. And that is where we actually left off last session, with the party deciding what to do in basically the return here, whether they are going to confront these ships or try a different route, try to do something else. And so with that being the case, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. It is the evening hours. Sun is still up. It is sunset currently at the moment. But Belbin looks out and he does verify that there are ships, to which he climbs down and in kind of a serious way, he takes you guys, all four of you, aside and away from all of the frivolity that is going on top of the deck. And he mentions to you, we are less than a day's out, or less than 6 hours out from Aishin Island, but a couple miles off the coast, we have spotted a couple of pirate ships. From what I can see, it's only 2 at the moment, but what do you think is our best course of action here? As he says, as he basically hands that over to you guys.
Are we all just chilling on the deck at this point?
Yeah, so this is like right at the conclusion of WrestleMania, and so there's still kind of the conclusion and like people like congratulating each other, people just like having fun, drinking, doing that kind of stuff on board. But the only people that are aware of this now are you guys, Sariel, and Belden.
Okay.
Well, pirates, you say?
Aye, pirates.
Don't pirates typically have treasure?
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. Belbin replies.
Unless they're bad pirates.
Unless they're bad pirates. That's kind of what I was thinking Belbin was saying as he kind of mentions to them. He mentions to you guys, and he says that we do have a small crew of formidable fighters, as he kind of looks around to see all who are in fighting shape, and he also mentions we do have the Glyphix cannon, and we do have a charge of for that to be able to potentially sink one of their ships before we even encounter them. But he looks specifically to Thordane as he says, you are the captain after all. Reluctantly, he says it. What do you plan on doing? Which is my way of sending it over to you guys about what you want to do as far as your approach to either going after these ships, avoiding the combat with the ships, whatever you guys want to do. That's a conversation.
Yuki pipes up and says, well, I mean, pirates this close to Flomberge, it's kind of suspicious. I wonder if it's a revenge pillage from the Bloody Bosun. And if that's the case, maybe we're kind of responsible for this.
For those who don't remember, the Flomberge was under attack previously. That's actually how the party got Alomnia's breath. Was pirates made landing in Flomberge, or at least on the coast, and they tried to invade via the North Bridge. To which they summoned lightning storms upon pirates, and they also defended basically the gatehouse from the pirate onslaught from going into Flomberge proper. And they defeated a wicked pirate captain by the name of the Bloody Bosun, to which recently they placed his head in a chest north of their location. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this. I mean, and who knows? They could even be associated with Jackman Knobs, which that's kind of part of the reason we're on this journey as well. Less pirates, the better, right? And it doesn't seem. Is there like fog or smoke that Belbin saw following the pirate ships, or is it just pirate ships?
No, there's no fog or anything. It's actually a pretty nice day. There's not even like storm clouds or anything in the sky. It is. You guys did have favorable winds as the day progressed, but that. I mean, it's just one of those things where like there's not even like hints of mist or storm even on the horizon anywhere.
So Thordane speaks up and says, well, that begs to differ. Should we just get rid of them at this point? We're very close to Aishin Island, and with pirates this close, that can't bode well. Should we man the cannons at the very least?
Thordane, he replies to this and says, it depends on what we want to do, if we want to make the entire crew awares of this, ultimately it is our decision as kind of the captains of this crew of this ship. But we do have a few passengers on board that might not want to see combat or be involved so much in combat, and he's specifically hinting at Nalathi, who is your current passenger.
Yeah.
It is our responsibility to get him to Aishan Island safe, but at the same time, as Belbin had mentioned before, we do have very skilled warriors, and I think, especially with our new Glyphex cannon, we may be able to take the ships if we at least have the element of surprise.
Also, not that it matters that much. This needs see some action. Just kind of showing off his new axe that he can finally use.
And Belbin proudly wearing Calvinish's sword on his waist. He taps the hilt of the blade and says, "Yes, and this also needs to see some action."
I say we try to avoid as much bloodshed as possible.
Well, maybe we blow a hole in their ship and slow them down. Maybe that's the best course of action.
Oh, a hit and run, Belbin says. I'm used to that. I know all about that from back in my day.
But how will we get their treasure?
See, Zil,
We won't.
this is what we're talking about.
Or, Belbin chimes in, we wait for their ship to sink, and then we come back later, and you could breathe underwater with that axe, right? You can dive down,
Yeah.
grab it, put it back on our ship. Belbin very proud of himself.
Zil can't swim, though.
That's also true.
Zil can sink. So what we can do is we can take his armor off. He holds his axe. We can tie a bunch of rocks to him. He'll sink down to the bottom, and then he'll just cut himself loose, and he'll float back up to the top.
So you're saying we should hang a millstone around his neck and throw him into the ocean?
Ouch!
Sounds like a good penance to me.
I have not led any children astray. I don't know what you're talking about.
What about
the new boy that's on the ship now, and you're being a bad influence?
I got him away from a crime lord. What do you mean I'm being a bad influence?
Trying to kill some pirates to steal their treasure? I don't know, Zil. Millstone, Zil.
No. Trying to protect others from pirates and reclaim ill-gotten treasure.
Yuki turns to Belbin and says, "Were the pirates heading towards the ship, or were they just kind of meandering in the distance?"
Max, I'm gonna actually have you roll for Belbin here. Make a wisdom skill check for me.
Well, I rolled a 3, and my computer is slow.
Here, I'll look.
5.
5.
Nice.
He thinks about it and he says, "It's hard to tell from how far out we are, but we got a little bit of time to make a plan, but they seem to be not sailing towards or away, almost sailing parallel, but again, it's difficult to tell. Almost as if they're making some kind of rounds to a degree."
Oh no, Luxalia, what's your plan? Especially if these pirates are so close to the shore, I fear they may be a threat to the meeting of the keys. We don't want them to interfere either. I understand where you're coming from. I kind of feel the same way. However, it seems that we need to do something.
Are we judge, jury, and executioner now, Yuki?
Well, they're pirates, so at the very least we can be the judge and the jury and the executioner.
And you know what? There is a guardian who used to be not so great and became a guardian, so...
Well, can I tell you then? Maybe we can board their ship and evangelize them.
Thordane says, I have noticed that you've been handing out Guardian Historias to many of our crew members.
Yes, we could have mercy on some of them, but those who don't desire that mercy, we can be that judge, jury, and executioner.
So you're not really giving them a choice because you're threatening them with death.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It is a choice.
The choice is quite simple, isn't it?
Tertalomnia.
Sometimes children need guidance, Thordain says.
Hmm.
Cast off their mortal coil, as they would say.
Or
And if it
millstones.
were the other way around and they were threatening you with death or renouncing of Elomnia,
Then I would kill
how
them.
would you feel?
I would kill them.
Wow. Well,
Dying a martyr is good, but if it's a pointless death, then I don't understand. I'd rather protect myself.
okay then.
Well, we could do a test shot at them again. We may not have
A test shot? I mean, if we start it, they're gonna retaliate. If someone was like, "Oh, it was just a test slash of my sword to see if you would fight back," like, what do you mean? Of course they're gonna fight back if we fire at them first.
Well, when you put it like
Yes.
that,
Thordain says.
Luxalia,
So
And?
you are inferring diplomacy with these scoundrels.
Yes.
With these
Or we
scallywag
just ignore
sea
them.
dogs.
And if they become a problem, then we'll deal with them at that juncture.
But Luxalia,
Yes.
if we ignore them
Yes.
when we had an opportunity to do something, and they go hurt somebody else, isn't that on us?
No. I'm not making them go hurt other people. That's like saying, how you didn't kill the sinner, therefore he sinned, and therefore it's your fault. Doesn't make any sense.
well, I think it's a little bit more. I think that's comparing apples to oranges. It's a little more extreme than that because they'll go out and actually kill people. They're not just committing sin.
Do you know that?
Yes, they're pirates.
This is what they are known for. We have fought pirates before.
How many of you actually know pirates? Oh. Damn.
Pirates are the reason we have this ship.
Well,
I think we lost Cole. I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but he's frozen on my end.
he's frozen on my end too.
Okay.
Well, I guess we'll put it up to a vote at this point. What we could do, I guess we have three options. We could try diplomacy, number one. We could try just surprise attack or attacking them out of the blue. Or three, we could ignore them. So we'll put it up to a vote, I guess. Democracy.
Thordain, he puts his last sense in, and he says, if we can be quiet enough, I don't see what the harm would be, especially as we get closer on investigating them. Unfortunately, it seems that we're on open waters, so as we approach, the chances of being spotted are highly likely unless they are either inebriated or distracted by other means. So
you're telling us basically be cautious as we approach, be manned, have our cannons ready just in case of a conflict, and if they do attack, then we retaliate?
we need to tell the crew to be ready for anything, meaning don't be complacent. I agree to a degree with what Luxalia does have to say. I think everybody does deserve mercy if they are deserving of mercy. And Thordain thinks about it, and he strokes his chin and he says,
Are any of us truly deserving of mercy?
he looks to Belbin. Yes. I think everybody is deserving of mercy. But he sighs. If they are threatening the good peoples, the free peoples, we must do it in what it is in our duty to be able to stop them. We are not only the senders and messengers for Elomnia, but we are also protectors of the people.
What are they doing right now? That is...
It's difficult to tell as Thordain squints off into the distance.
Well, if they're being pirates, at the very least, I think as we approach, and they will inevitably spot us on the open ocean, I think we should be ready for combat.
Yes. I'm not saying don't be prepared. I'm just saying maybe don't just fire first.
Unless Aldrich wants to. And Yuki turns to him.
Aldrich's not part of this conversation currently.
Oh.
He's off at the front of the boat, working on the new cannon. If you
He
remember.
maybe he'll do an accidental shot. You know?
Belbin says
All I'm
an accidental
saying is if
shot
we
with
all-
the one charge that we have.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that if we all got what we deserved, I wouldn't be here.
You're a special case, Luxalia.
Thordain
pats her on the
looks
back.
to you and he pats you on the head and he says, Luxalia, that's called providence. Alomnia has you here right now for a reason. If that was the case, and mercy wasn't granted on you at the time, that would be his providence. But currently, right now, mercy was given to you. And we'll see if it's the providence that they are to die doing their piratesly deeds.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Well, I guess
He's
then.
Very
what
matter
we
of fact
do-
about it.
I will do my best to keep you all alive. Do what you must.
All right. Is we getting a look pacifist Luxalia again? I like this. This is nice. All right. Well, let's I guess keep going forward and just let the crew know, hey, there's pirates. Man the stations.
Thordain goes up to the helm of the ship and he announces, he says, Everybody, all crew members and passengers, this was such a wonderful evening of spirited sport. As he looks down, everybody is paying attention, including the guests, Nalathir, Princess Mila, Horatius, all the people. And he says, we are just about 6 hours out from landing in Flomburge. However, Belbin and Sariel have spotted that there are pirates on the horizon. We are unsure about whether or not they are going to be violent or not towards us. However, I do think we best prepare ourselves for battle as best as we can. We will try diplomacy for whatever that is worth, but they are scallywags after all. And I would not be surprised if they do attack us, even unprovoked. That being said, everybody knows their positions. We've trained for this. And he thinks back, and he's like, maybe we haven't exactly trained for this. But we need to make sure that we have our ballistas manned, our swivel ballistas also manned. And he looks to Aldreg specifically. Make sure we have that Glyphex cannon up and running just in case. If we can settle this peacefully, all the power to us. But if it does inevitably end in battle, we best be prepared for our chance of survival. There are 2 ships out there, which means they outnumber us at least 2 to 1. One of them looks quite a bit larger than our ship. We must be ready. And everybody looks up to Thordain, and nodding, they all kind of go to their positions. As far as people that are on the ship that are ready for combat and can see combat, it's kind of this list of NPCs that you got down here being the case, with obviously Eclaas Eeas being the case. Oh, by the way, new Kitsune Spirit token, so that's fun. So cute. New Kitsune Spirit token, so if you do want to summon that Luxalia if a battle does commence, feel free to do that. But we have, as far as characters that can do something in combat, they'll be run as kind of like a smaller cohort of like things such as manning cannons, doing specific rules, and I want you guys to decide what their specific rules are. As far as combat goes, you have Barnacle Bill, the Spider of the Mass. You have Sariel, who is she's an archer primarily, and so she can shoot basically her longbow from the crow's nest. That's something that she can do. Bree, she is more adept with melee, like sword fighting. She also has Bree, so she has the ability to use, or not, Bree has the ability, has Martha with the ability to use her whip to restrain creatures as well. you said Barnacle Bill, Balthazar. He is also skilled at melee, but he does have the use of a hunting bow in the process. Finn is the bosun, and so he primarily excels with using the siege weapons that are on board the ship, such as utilizing ballistas and whatnot. He does have some decent combat prowess. You have Lyra, who she is not so much combative, but she is basically a healer that you have the ability to be able to use. Kokoro, she's kind of a Swiss Army knife. You can use her for kind of whatever. She isn't invincible, so don't go crazy with Kokoro if you do need to use her. And Aldreg Monteblair, basically, he's not. He's a sailor, so he has some combat experience, but he's primarily used for the one shot of the Glyphex cannon if you do wish to do it. And then you also have the mysterious man on board, Horatius, which you don't know what he does quite yet.
He's old. He's got to do something.
Yeah, he's got experience. No person has lived this long in Everlast without having some kind of skill. So you could even ask him about like what he has the ability to do and assign him accordingly. But as far as the ship, this is just kind of above game in case combat does happen to happen. One person always needs to be sailing at the helm of the ship at all times. Otherwise, your ship will be run a course. So somebody has to be assigned to that position there. Swivel cannons are these two positions here at the rear. The swivel cannons essentially use your dexterity stat in order to hit with them. The two main ballistas use your physical stat to hit with them. And then the Glyphex cannon uses elemental stat to hit with it. And so you kind of have like a broad range of things that you can do with your kind of siege weapons and whatnot. And then additionally, if combat does ensue, so we remember, so there's kind of like this open sea map that we have, and I have kind of your Eclaas token and then pirate ship tokens as well. How this is going to work is you can either get close enough to be able to communicate with them, try to sneak up on them by doing like ship stealth checks and things like that. And if battle does commence, we'll pull up kind of the battle map version of it. And there will be bonuses and penalties depending on basically how many people you have on your ship compared to is on their ship. And so when you are outnumbered on your ship, everybody has despair on your hit rolls on weapons. And so if you're like overwhelmed on the ship, that's the case. Everybody's hit rolls for all their weapon attacks have despair. If you are, and then if you're like outnumbered on this ship, you don't have despair, but if you if you're basically anytime you're outnumbered, like one side is you have despair on attack rolls. So if you like just like throw, for example, Yuki onto another ship and it's just Yuki against pirates, she has despair on all of her hit rolls against everything. And so basically like gaining advantage on a ship is important as far as that goes, with kind of the limited combat space that there is. Just letting you guys know, I don't know how this is going to turn out, so that's kind of just generally how the combat works if that does tend to happen, if that makes sense. And so
well, maybe as we get closer to the ship, it would be good to have, I guess, Belbin's a lookout. Belbin and Sariel kind of see how many pirates we're dealing with and we're working with,
right,
and devise a strategy based off such things.
So first and foremost, I'm going to have you guys make just a so it's a stealth check, which because your boat has a +1 to stealth, it's going to be just a D16 roll +1. I'm going to actually have Zil make that roll for me. 6. As you
Why me?
As you make your way kind of closer, we'll go ahead and switch up the maps here real quick. It's at the bottom. You guys are way up here. And so as far as that stealth check goes, you guys are able to move a little bit closer to be able to see. I'm going to have Belbin's character, whoever's rolling for Belbin, I'm going to have him make a wisdom skill check for me.
Let's see. Wisdom. Dirty 16.
You sail for about 2 hours, and you definitely do get closer, so much so where you can actually, everybody on deck without the needing an eyeglass or anything can see that there are pirates off on the horizon, and it is clear that these are pirate ships with their black flags that they are basically sailing. As you get closer, Belbin does notice that they do seem to be going kind of parallel with each other along the...
Are they going to Sky Spire? Is it the collection of pirates?
They are making their way from the west to east, but they are making an arc around the island. But that's all Belbin is able to tell from this kind of inspection. It is getting darker. So as I mentioned, it was sunset about 2 hours ago, meaning that it is about dusk at this point. And so it is pretty dark. It is a full moon tonight. And so you can see just barely off on the horizon. You can barely see the outline of, I guess it's not barely, there's a large dark mass kind of on the horizon of Aishan Island. But as you continue to make your way closer, I'm going to have you make a secondary. Actually, I'm going to have Dane roll this one.
Okay.
A secondary stealth check for me.
Okay, and it's just a +1.
Yep, at a +1.
It's a 13.
13. During the darkness, you're able to kind of slip in to kind of like a closer positioning, unseen. It is clear at this point there are no bells or warning bells or anything that are ringing, and you are very closely getting into range for potential cannons or ballistas. This is about another 2 hours have passed as you have made your way closer to them. They seem to be sailing at a very, very slow pace. Their positions haven't changed all that much, almost as if they're kind of set adrift as opposed to actively sailing. You see that their sails are actually pretty much furled up, almost as if the tides that are washing them are what are making them move at this point.
Does Sariel see on board now that we're closer what is going on?
I'm gonna have Belbin make a wisdom skill check for me.
Nat 16.
Nat 16. Woo! You are able, with the help of an eyeglass, to see on board the ship. You can see that both ships are fully manned. One of them definitely seems to be bigger. One of them is a brig, and one of them is a frigate. The frigate itself is primarily a transport ship. So this one actually doesn't have any guns or anything set up on basically the main deck, or any ballistas or anything set up on the main deck. However, you can tell that the sides of it are heavily reinforced and armored, braced. The other one, which is the brig, doesn't have quite the defenses. However, you can tell this one is set up more militarily. They don't have any ballistas or anything on their main deck, but this is a 3-level ship, and on 2 of the layers you can see that there are ballistas hanging out of the holes on the side, ready to shoot at any point. And with that being the case, you can tell that if there is going to be a ship that potentially does shoot, it will be this larger of the 2 ships. With that being the case, with that Nat 16 too, you can actually see the number of people that are on board, and generally you can kind of see going back and forth that they are not fully manned crews, but there are a decent amount of warriors, pirates that are on board each of the ship. So I would say probably based off of the amount that Belbin and Sariel are able to count, there's going to be about a total of 22 on the brig And on the frigate, there's going to be a total about 13, 14, 15-ish warriors on board that one. So smaller, but you can definitely tell that this one's probably more of a cargo ship. So if you are going after treasure, the smaller of the ship is probably the ship you're looking at.
I'm curious. Sorry, this is over game. So they're clearly not on a trying to be their pirate ways. In fact, they're escorting a transport.
Something like that, although they're not actively sailing. As I had mentioned, for the past few hours, their sails have been furled up and they've just kind of been drifting off shore. But there are people on this. They're not abandoned.
That's weird. I'm assuming Belbin tells this information to all of us.
Yes.
Well, I mean, maybe this is the best opportunity for diplomacy if there's not necessarily anyone moving. I fear that if they are transporting something, they're heading towards Sky Spire Island themselves. Maybe this transport is going to supply Jackman Knobs and the pirates down there.
That wouldn't be good.
At the very least, we can find out what's going on if they're honest with us. Again, if they're being honest with us. But if we do find out that that's the case, I think that is our duty to stop them because we need to defeat Jackman Knobs. So, from whatever means that is. So what do we do? Like, how close do we want to get before we call out to them?
Well, they at least have to be able to hear us.
I guess that's true. We best be ready, I guess. We don't want to take a direct ballista to the face if we get close enough, you know.
Thornton, he does nod as well. He's the one who's currently sailing the ship, and he says, then how shall we approach? Should we approach directly? Unfortunately, it is nighttime, and ships sailing up in the night might cause maybe undue need for concern for other sailors. However, we can light all of the lanterns and light our ship up as we get closer to somewhat announce our presence. I guess we will find out at that moment whether or not they are even willing for any kind of diplomacy. We do also have a couple rowboats that we can send emissaries over to be able to speak with them, but that also could potentially be very dangerous.
If we're going to send any emissaries, I think the two best people to send would be myself and Zill, partially because Zill can just breathe underwater with his axe. He could just jump off ship. Then I can fly. So if we do need to make a quick escape, we can do that.
Or potentially, Thordane mentions, perhaps we can bring somebody else on board as opposed to Zill. Zill can hang out underneath the rowboat. Being able to breathe just in case you need a little bit of extra backup in case things do go wrong. Another hidden person might always be perhaps wise. Who else would like to perhaps go over? We need, obviously, all hands on deck here just in case something does happen.
Not Belbin.
No, just sounds like, I like this idea of chilling under the boat.
Yeah, Yuki says, not Belbin. I'm afraid he'll come to blows if it's Belbin right away.
Belbin,
am I wrong, Belbin?
He rolls his eyes and he says, I mean, that's kind of the plan, right? We're going to get some treasure out of this.
Ugh. All right. Well, I mean, Thordane, you are our captain, technically. Maybe it's good if the captain comes. However, I also worry that the captain being captured is a bad thing as well.
He looks over to Luxalia and he says, Luxalia, you seem to be the one who wants to avoid combat the most, meaning you have most at stake for trying to resolve this peacefully. How would you feel about going over there and speaking with whoever wants to be spoken to?
Sure.
You'll have Yuki and you'll have backup.
Don't have much away with words, but
you will have Yuki.
fine.
I can fly you. You're easy. You're small. I can pick you up in case we need to get out of there.
Sounds good.
That makes the most sense, actually, as he really thinks about it. If there is some kind of evacuation plan that does need to happen, I think having the person that can breathe underwater and then the 2 light people with the ability to fly off might have the highest chance of survival without being stranded on board the ship.
Okay.
Well, that begs to differ. Do we light up the ship then, make our approach known? I feel if we make our approach known, it could also, warn them of... Well,
Yuki, I'm gonna have you make a knowledge skill check for me.
Knowledge score. Okay. That's a 12.
12. So there are 2 potential outcomes that could happen from approaching, and primarily determined based off of when you decide to light up. If you light up sooner and they see you approaching from afar, a couple of things could happen. You will be able to know sooner whether they are going to be violent or not.
Yeah.
But the chances of speaking and making this diplomacy would be probably lessened if that were to be the case, as they are seeing a ship approach out of basically the blue. However, if you do wait in order to light up, you'll be able to be closer to be able to get an escort emissary over to their boats, and they would potentially be more off their toes. However, the immediate threat might even further them to attacking. If they're...
Yeah.
It all just depends on how you retaliate, if you wish to retaliate at all, if they do end up shooting at you.
Well, Yuki...
A way to, like, signal that we are not necessarily going to harm them as we're lit.
Every ship is equipped with basically a bell, which is can be heard for a couple miles around when hit as loud as possible. So that would be a way to alert people to presence, but usually that's used for emergency, meaning if that bell does go off, they'll think that you're readying yourselves for battle to a degree. And so if you're hearing similar bells in the distance, that could potentially mean, even without shots, that they are readying themselves to fight.
Well, what we could do... I mean, how far right now are we away from them, would you say?
It is dark, and so you probably would have to be making some pretty high stealth checks at this point to not be noticed. If you do light up, they will notice you immediately.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about,
so they have a couple of lanterns. It's very dimly lit. They have a couple of lanterns lit outside, and so they're not completely sailing in the dark.
What I mean is, how close are we if we called out to them?
They would not be able to hear you.
Okay. Well, Yuki puts in her 2 cents in saying, well, I guess if we do want to do diplomacy, I don't think any diplomacy will happen if we just suddenly surprise them and they're reacting on instinct. I think lighting up earlier is better than later.
Yeah. Do we have flags that we can fly so they know our allegiances?
Currently, guys, right now do have a flag, which is this icon, which is the Eclaas logo, for your Alomnia's breath. But it's probably not a very known ship logo. As far as that goes, you do have some white flags, which are surrender flags or potentially come in peace flags that you could raise as well. All flags are, because that's how most ships speak with each other, is via the different colors of flags. And so you could light up and then have one of these white flags flying, meaning you come in peace potentially. Which
I don't know. I just feel like when you're approaching a pirate ship like that, they're just coming right into the nest of the beast, the bowels of the beast, But
I
guess we could
fly our colors. I'm not necessarily recommending we fly the white flag because we're not surrendering, but we are coming in the name of Alomnia.
Well, I think we should just continue and light up. Yuki puts in her 2 cents.
What about the rest of
Anyone
you?
have
Zil, Luxalia, do you have any preference?
Yeah, I'm with Yuki.
Want to do it?
See, etiquette is a bit new to me.
Nice. Well,
Most
you're about to
etiquette
learn, Bill.
is a bit
We'll
new
see.
to me.
We'll see if these pirates have their etiquette as well. As we move forward. Oh gosh. Well, let's do that then. We'll light up the lanterns.
I'm gonna actually have yeah, as you begin to light up these lanterns, you can hear that, or not hear, you can see that as you do so, in response, the other ships begin to light up more lanterns. There are no bells that are sounding at the moment as you approach closer. I'm going to have Belbin make a one last wisdom skill check for me.
8.
With that, Belbin sees that they have not changed their flags at all. They seem to be holding up a black flag, which indicates, in this case, I'm going to actually have Thordane to make a knowledge skill check what a black flag indicates.
Okay. Black. I'm assuming it's just the pirate flag, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's wisdom, you said?
Yeah, wisdom skill check.
You see wisdom? He is wisdomy. That's a 14.
With that, I mean, it would be knowledge skill check for like knowing the types of flags. So you could just use the results of that knowledge modifier.
Oh, it's same. It's a 4. Yeah.
Okay.
4, so, yeah.
Or
14 total. It was the same modifier for wisdom.
A black flag essentially means no quarter, which is that they are willing to negotiate and offer mercy if whoever the target gives them something valuable in return. The other flags potentially that you could see that could lead to potential danger is if they ever put up a red flag. It indicates no prisoners and a willingness to fight to the death. And then white flags are not necessarily a sign of surrender, but potential parlay for a request for negotiations.
Should we put up a white flag? Thordane's like, yes, no quarter. If we do interact with them, that means we will have to give them something valuable.
How about faith in Alomnia?
Well, I agree that is the most precious thing. However, I doubt the pirates will think that will suffice.
Belbin says, you can't sell that on the black market.
Where else would you sell it?
Nowhere?
It's given freely, Luxalia.
Yeah, I mean, like, not sell it in in a real, like, I'm paying money sense, but like, I'm like, like a salesman, like, selling you on.
Is this a trick? Is it the white market? Is this a trick question?
No.
Well, I mean, we have nothing to give them, so I guess unless we can come up with
What is the Church of Alomnia if not for sinners?
Well, we can give them their pitch, but I think we should be prepared as well for them not to take it well.
Well, yes.
Well, I guess we keep going, right?
You keep going. Sailing closer.
I mean, we can put a white flag up if we want to negotiate.
Yeah, well, Thordane will do that. He'll get the white flag going.
Yuki, I'm gonna have you make an influence skill check for me.
Influence? I'm influential. Nice. Sorta. 12.
With that being the case, you put up this flag as you be able to get closer, so much, like close enough to where like everybody on both sides can clearly see. You see that there are plenty of people up on board, and because they're like on board the top of the deck, they have weapons in hand. No bells have been sounded at this point, but the way that they have staggered themselves is like this. So this one will be the smaller one.
The attacking ship.
The frigate. The bigger one is the attacking ship. You can see that this one has kind of started unfurling kind of at like half sail, unfurling and going around this way. You are close enough to be able to have a conversation. They have not fired any shots at this point.
All right.
Their
Yuki
black
will
flag is still up.
Yeah, Yuki will turn to Luxalia and say, so it seems like they're not attacking us. How should we approach this? Should we be, since I'm sure they don't recognize the Eclaas flag, should we be emissaries themselves of Aishin Islands? How should we approach this situation? Because we are technically protectors of the free world, meaning they are in Aishin Island waters. That wouldn't be a lie, per se.
I mean, we can
but
basically tell them that. Say, what's their business here? Move along.
Or not even necessarily move along, but like, why are you coming through here? Like, we need to know
Yes.
for security reasons.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I think that's as good as it's going to get. However, with the black flag, like Thordain said, I don't know if they'll take too kindly to it. Hopefully we can influence them either way to, if they tell us they're up to dastardly deeds, that we could have conversion of heart. Yuki kind of laughs a little bit to herself. Not because she thinks it's impossible, just the idea of the fact that pirates themselves would have a sudden conversion of heart from people approaching, but you never know. Okay. Well, I guess what would be like the next, this is to you, Kyle. Order of proceedings now that we're close enough. Would we call that we're sending a ship across or a boat across? What would we do?
Yeah, you could potentially call for an exchange of basically emissaries. So what that would mean is, in this case, with the fact that they have a black flag, it would mean that they're not willing to send any of their people out to your ship, but they are willing to accept people out to your ship, to their ship. However, again, with it being black, they're going to expect something in return for the free passage. So,
what about their lives? Is that important? If they don't take kindly to Alamnia's word,
you're gonna have to figure something out, something in exchange for a conversation.
At the very least, we should also try to make some sort of signal as well in case negotiations go bad, that we can signal over to the ship. I think.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what should that be?
I will have hold please.
Hold.
I will prepare. Hold on. Yes, I will prepare heavenly light, which is an art.
And heavenly light means that we shoot?
No, it means that we're coming back to the ship.
Oh, what happens if it goes downhill? Saying we don't have anything and they try to take us prisoner. I think we need to get
we escape and you fly us out of there.
Well, yes, but I think we need to get a head start with it too by sending a signal over to our ship.
Yeah,
meaning...
and I'll cast the heavenly light.
Okay.
I'm confused why we're confused.
Okay, all right.
Is this not the plan? If they try to take us prisoner, then we jump and, Zill comes out and goes booga booga. And then
Monteblair shoots a thing at their ship, yes? Yep.
We flew the white flag, so I feel like...
Okay, at that point, Luxalia, there is no point for decorum.
Going to attack back.
Oh, yes.
If they are violent towards us, I see we need to...
Are you going to go there with threat of weapons being like, lay down your arms, let us pass, or we have a nuke that we're going to hit you with?
No, what we're going to do, as Luxalia and I discussed, we're going to go over saying, hey, we are guards of Aishin Island. We are here to protect the waters. What are you doing in our waters? Secondly, if they don't take kindly to that, we're going to be like, you need to turn from your dastardly ways as pirates.
Yes, repent and believe in Alamnia.
Yeah. And thirdly, if they're like, well, no, we're not going to do that, where's the rub? I mean, if any of those work, then that's great beforehand. But if we go, it's like, hey, we as protectors can't let you go do your dastardly deeds if you're gonna do this, and if they try to do anything fishy, we'll light them up.
All right then.
There we go. We gave them plenty of options there.
Yeah.
We don't have to feel bad about our actions if
They don't accept.
All right. Well, how does that sound, Luxali? Is that the good order
I
of
think
operations?
only if they turn violent do we attack them.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but at the same time, we need to also find out where they're going. Like,
well, yes.
we can't
What
let
their
them
business
proceed.
is here.
Yeah, we
and
can't let
yes.
them proceed with a big old cargo ship in the direction of Sky Spire Island
Yes.
if they give us pleasantries. We have to find the reason for it at the very least. So,
Yes.
anyways, yeah, cool.
Okay.
Let's do that.
And I mean, if we have to enforce it and basically be like, hey, like, you can't do that, surrender,
We'll do
or we will take action.
Agreed.
So
let's
the
do it.
question that begs the question: which ship do you want to send your emissary to?
Probably. Which one seems to be in charge? Probably the smaller or the bigger one, right?
Potentially, both of them
Yeah.
have black flags up. So
I know. I would probably say the bigger one. That's probably where the head honcho is. They seem to be escorting the
Unless
smaller
that's just, the camel,
Yeah.
the
Camel.
metaphorical camel, or the
Yeah.
wagon. It's like, that's just carrying the goods.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it's not the one in charge.
That's what I'm assuming.
So why are
Let's
we
do
going
it.
to that one if it's
We're
not the
not.
one
We're,
in
we're
charge?
going to the one in charge. We're going to the big boy.
No. The big one
Yeah.
is the one carrying the stuff.
Is
I'm
it?
assuming.
I thought it was the smaller one that
the
was
small
carrying
one
the
is
stuff.
carrying the stuff.
Oh.
So the small one is the
then,
armored.
yeah,
It's
the
like the
big one.
armored cargo ship.
Ah, I had it mixed up. Okay, then
Yeah.
the one that's in charge. Yeah.
Let's do it.
So you lay down your rowboats and you begin to set sail. You have a lantern hanging at the back of your rowboat, and Zil, somewhat skillfully, this is actually kind of an intimidating thing to do. Just to begin with, is going underwater and attempting to breathe underwater without the potential of being able to breathe. And so
Also, in the pitch dark middle of the ocean. That's
Yeah.
scary.
Here is my plan.
Okay, let's hear it.
Basically,
Where are you?
It's under the boat.
He's
me.
gone. Zil is
Oh.
gone.
Your
I see it.
disembodied voice.
I see him.
Oh, my. Weird. I see all of you.
Oh,
My computer's not happy today.
It's okay.
All
We can pop up a Zil image.
So I see y'all. Maybe I'll come back. I can refresh.
We
in a
can hear
minute.
you though, so that's good.
But the plan is essentially, before we launch this boat, to try to stick in the base of it 2 axes, like hand axes, and then I don't know if these are actually an item in the game. They're a carryover from D&D.
Okay.
The pythons.
Yeah, they can
Uh,
absolutely be in the game.
Great. Kind of stick 2 of those about a body length away, so I've got handholds on my axes and footholds on my pythons. But sticking them in a way that doesn't like compromise the boat.
Right.
That's the idea. I don't know if that's even feasible.
We'll try it.
I would say like you could probably do it not underneath at the part below the water, but you could probably situate it like up at the part above the water. And so yeah, if that makes sense. Like just up above the water level, you could probably stick the pythons in, and then you can basically hold on to them as the boat goes.
Okay.
That might be tough,
Well,
but
then-
you could try it. It'll require a physical skill check.
You could do it. I believe it. Might as well try it.
Sure. We'll do that.
Right. As you prepare to get
we
ready,
could also just like put a rope at the prow of our rowboat, and you could just hold on to it underneath.
That's true.
That makes a lot more sense.
We'll do
You can even
that.
like tie it to like the prow and the stern so that it like ropes underneath,
Mhm.
and then you
Yeah,
have
let's
like
do that.
a hold the whole way.
And I'm gonna refresh Warping Board. I'll be right back.
Cool.
So you go down into the water and you lower this again. Is your boat still moving, or are you guys furling up your sails and hanging out, waiting for things to happen?
We're hanging out a little ways away, so it's not like super close. Yeah.
And so,
Not close enough where they could swing onto our ship.
Right. That makes
Yeah.
sense. It's a lot of people to set up here. Give me one moment. Almost there, though.
Also, quick question, just for Max and Cole, where do we want to like position our boat specifically? I was thinking that maybe we could position it right like in front of this boat, and then so that way it's blocking them, but also so all of the ballistas and cannons on this side can be directed here, and then we can, with threat of Glyphix cannon, have it directly pointed at this
Yeah.
ship, because that's more.
Good idea.
That's more, I think, seems to be more important to them, is
Yeah.
making sure this one stays afloat.
Also, have a good night, Britt.
Cool.
All right. So where are you guys sailing your rowboat?
I guess in the middle here.
Up to the side?
Yeah.
You begin to sail closer to the ship. Let's pull up
Oh, by the way, how far is your teleportation on your cape, Max?
16. Hold on.
I was just thinking, we don't want to abandon you either, just in case you get stuck there.
Single location within their line of sight.
Oh, okay, so you can go back to the ship if you wanted to.
So, I presume that's the case.
as long as you can see it.
Also,
Great.
Just so you guys know, I'll probably after whatever speech we give, I'll probably have to get going here.
No problem.
Sweet.
Sounds good.
You begin to set sail, and Zill is underneath. I'm gonna have him make a physical skill check as you are basically being like dragged along the back, holding onto this boat as both Yuki and
Holding onto the
Lusalia
rope.
are making their way between these two ships. Yes, what is that?
19.
19. Yeah, you're good. You
Oh,
hold.
thank goodness.
You hold tight, even with all of your armor and all that kind of stuff, like underneath the boat. And it's an odd experience being able to just breathe underwater with this. axe
Yeah,
on your back.
like, do I just like breathe as normal, or
Yep,
do I
water
just...
doesn't even water doesn't even filter into your lungs. It's kind of a weird feeling because like it's like you're breathing through your nose, where there's kind of like this air pocket. So there's water in your mouth, but there's like this air pocket that you can feel like from like your nostrils down to your lungs, and so as if you're just breathing normal air in. It's a very strange
Weird.
feeling. But yeah, you are able to do so. But you move slowly, and as you do so, you actually hear a bunch of people up on deck saying, "I either sending two ladies over," as they are all kind of like jeering at you as you approach. You see on the side of this ship, the larger one, you see that it is a ship named the Dark Siren. And then on this ship, you see that it is labeled the Sea Widow.
Okay.
You continue to sail up until you approach, and one of the people up on deck, it's actually the voice of a lady, and she calls down to you from the larger ship, and she says, "Stop where you are! Tell us, who are you and what's your purpose before we let you board?"
What was the name of the widow ship?
The Sea Widow.
Sea Widow.
Thank you.
Yuki calls up and says, "You are in the waters of Aishin Island. We are here patrolling. We demand you let us up.
she looks down to you and she disappears, and you can hear people talking before a rope ladder gets tossed over the side of the large boat.
Can we climb up?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You make your way over the dock, and the two of you climb up. As you do make your way to the top of this boat, definitely a much larger vessel than Alomnia's Breath, a much larger vessel. And you can see that there are a number of pirates. They all look to you as if they are a mixture of humans. You can see that there are probably some men of the West, definitely a lot of men of the South that are here, maybe some men of the East as well. But as you get on board, they kind of all surround you, weapons either in hand or on basically the scabbards of like daggers or hand axes, that kind of stuff. Not necessarily threatening you, but ready for any kind of attack as you come face to face with the lady that is there. And she says, "I'm the first mate of this ship." And she looks up to a individual with a black basically tricorn hat up at the front. And she says, "While you're on this ship, you either address me or you address the captain." And the captain does call out to you, and he says, "Hi, what can I do you for? Two ladies such as yourselves, sailing on a small ship. You say you're patrolling, eh?"
Well,
Quick question. Is the rope ladder still over the side?
It is over the side, so it's still kind of like hanging down into the boat.
Can I like reach up and just kind of like hang off it so I'm like above the water and can like hear?
Yes, I'm gonna say make a stealth check for me while you do that,
Oh no.
because there's another ship that has eyes on everything. So there are people on the ship that have eyes
it's
on everything.
dark water.
It is dark water. You can have hope on that.
Hey.
Do I get my -2 from my armor? Is that still a thing?
It is still a thing, but not in this case because it's not a clink clunk moving. It's just like line of sight.
Okay, dirty 16.
Dirty 16. All right. Yeah, you do successfully do, and you kind of hover yourself between your rowboat and the ship enough to be able to block any kind of line of sight from.
I just want to make sure I can like hear what's going on with Luxelli and Yuki.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, Yuki responds and says, "Well, we appreciate the warm welcome onto your ship." Slightly sarcastic, but at the same time not menacing, not trying to create any like drama or anything. But basically she says, "Yes, the last few months or so, we've had quite a few pirates passing through the waters of Aishan Island. In fact, we even had the Bloody Bosun make his way to his demise onto our island not too long ago. So security has been at a higher demand. I am Yuki of the patrol boat and a group known as Eclaas, and this is my cohort Luxalia."
He looks to the two of you and he says, "Aye, the name is Sullivan. Captain Sullivan Drakemore." And he walks down the stairs to the main kind of level where you are. And he doesn't reach out to shake your hand. His hand is on the hilt of his sword as he kind of sizes the two of you up, looking you in the eye. He says, "So you say you're a patrol from Aishan Island, eh? Well, tell me, how long has it been since you've laid foot on that island?"
Well, can Yuki make some sort of insight check on where this could be coming from?
Yeah, make a wisdom skill check.
Of sorts. 15.
15. This is very much in line, not with discussion, but more interrogation. He is very suspicious of you.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Says, well, Yuki says, "Well, our current mission, as you see, we don't have a very big boat. We are meant for our speed, not necessarily our manpower itself. However, because of the speed of our ship, we are able to move quite quickly. Our patrol is out on the sea. It is not on the island itself. That's how she responds.
He looks to you and he says, "So you've said for a few months that pirates have been out and about around Aishan Island. And aye, that is true. There are many of us these days out on the waters. Lots of promise for wealth. Lots of promise for power."
You say that, however, most of the pirates that we've experienced go towards Aishan Island, specifically Flomberge and Takai Town. However, I understand you not wanting to go to Takai Town, knowing the Flortensia is parked there. However, you seem to be in no rush heading east. Is there any particular reason for that? And she looks over to the cargo boat and says, "With cargo as well, are you planning on going somewhere?" In an interrogating way back towards him.
I'm going to have you make a influence skill check for me.
Get it, Yuki.
It's a 17.
Sharp eye you have there. He takes a couple steps back and he relaxes his demeanor a little bit. And he says, "I didn't half expect a Draken and Glyven to be able to know their way on the seas, knowing what they're looking at when it comes to, well, our kind of life. You are correct. We are off on this island for much of the same reasons that you are here. Which begs the question, we have been here for some time, and you say you're a patrol. How come we haven't seen you till now?"
You haven't seen us, but we've seen you.
He strokes his beard as he says, that's so. And he looks to like the crow's nest and he says, "I like to pride myself on the eyes that I have up in the crow's nest. But clearly, they have done us a disservice." He turns around and he goes over and he pulls up a couple of crates and he says, "Please, sit."
Yuki says, "I prefer to stand."
"It's only right to treat a couple of ladies in a proper way."
And Yuki looks around and says, "Is it also the proper way to treat a couple of ladies with the entire crew with swords or hands on their swords?"
"Well, we do not recognize the colors that you fly. We have never seen them, nor even encountered anybody with that." And he looks around to everybody to see, and then everybody shakes their head as if they don't recognize. And he says, "Meaning, you're either not well known at all, or you're brand new to the sailing game."
Well, you've missed the third option. Or none that have seen it have lived to tell the tale.
Oh,
He nods
except
his
for
head.
Zaldoom.
He nods his head and he says, "That's typically our line of questioning. Are you trying to say that you're a threat to us? Are you trying to intimidate us?"
I'm not saying that at all. All I am saying is that those foes who have gone up against us, it hasn't gone well for them. Yes, we are part of a small ship and we have our crew may not have the number of men that you do, but the quality is much higher. And I will say, you are moving through the waters, enemy territory, seeing as you are flying pirate ships. It's only fitting that we know where your destination is, if not Aishan Island.
Fair enough question. But there is something that has sat on my mind, something that you had mentioned previous. You mentioned the end of the Bloody Bosun.
That's correct.
Tell me, what do you know of his whereabouts? There are few who do know.
What do we know of his whereabouts? Well, I think in a small chest on the high, on a few miles northwest of here, you can find your answer.
He nods and he says, "How do I know that you're not just talking good game?"
Do you want to try me? And Yuki puts her hand on her sword.
"We've got a feisty one here, boys." And he says, "No need to take up arms. We're here
I agree.
simply just to talk."
I agree. Although you say proof, the proof is on that island, as I had said. You'd have to take me at my word.
Well, pirates aren't nothing except good on their word, are they? But clearly you are not pirates yourselves. And he actually pulls up a chair and he sits down on it. He folds his arms and he crosses his legs, as if intrigued, and he says, "And what about you, little missy? You've said not 2 words since you've been up here. What is your purpose? Why have you come?"
Well, to be frank, we saw that there were pirates in the area, and, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but pirates typically are not known for their virtue. Am I right?
We all have different stories, and we come united under the black flag. For one reason or another, whether it is society that has thrown us to the dregs, or whether it is the call of the sea or call for adventure. Yes. We take
All the
what we
things-
want when we want. It is a life of true freedom, don't you think? Isn't that, as you would say, inspiring?
I would say you are a slave to your own passions. And I would know.
Have you seen gold? Chests flowing with gold, silver, gemstones. It's more beautiful
Yes.
than you could ever behold.
And tell me this, Captain... What was it again?
Yes, Captain Sullivan.
Captain Sullivan. And after all those chests have been found and emptied, and you've had your way with the women or drink or whatever it may be, your heart is still empty, is it not? You still are longing for something more, something that you can never truly grasp. I know this to be true because once I was not unlike you. You see, I used to go by a different name, Captain Sullivan. I was born in the Silverwood under the name Tommy. And that's T-A-M-I, in case you were wondering, not T-O-M-M-Y. Just so you know. It is a female name. Anyway, I digress. And I, too, took what I wanted. I, too, found power. I, too, found riches. And yet, at the end of every day, I could feel the emptiness in my heart. And I knew that there was something I was still longing for. Now, I have changed my ways. Through a long series of events, I found myself on a boat, not too unlike this, although the company was, how should I say, much holier than you. But I brought out the worst in them. Anyway, they were on a pilgrimage, you see, and I tried to lead them all astray. It was on this pilgrimage that I found what I was looking for. What I believe you are looking for. And that is Alamnia, whom, above all, we serve. More than anyone else. And I, my friend, would say that While you are a slave to your passions, in our servitude to Alomnia, we are free to do what is right. Now, I can't lie to you. My compatriots and I have, well, we've been to hell and back, quite literally. We have defeated demons. We have done unspeakable things that you're probably chuckling on the inside because you wouldn't even believe it. We have uncovered great evils, we have done great good, and, well, we have not been perfect. We have done some not good as a group as well. However, we are striving our best to serve this Alomnia. And when we saw your pirate ships, I would be lying if we did not debate on how to, should I say, deal with the lot of you.
If
By
anything,
all means, I think. And
if anything, I was gonna. Yuki will cut in quickly and say, "If anything, if it wasn't for her, you would be at the bottom of the ocean at this point." As you said, as
There's
we
some
had said,
chuckling around the group as you say this, Yuki.
yes, thank you for being more to the point. But I know that I was like you once. And I know that I have changed, and I believe that you all deserve that chance as well, without the threat of sinking your ships to force you into it. But I want you to know that there is another path, another way, that is not being a slave to your passions, that is not being caught up in all of the rigmarole of your passions and whoever selling yourself to the highest bidder. You could be serving a just cause. And while it is a difficult road, believe me, it's not for the faint of heart. It is going to be a greater adventure than you've ever had. And looks to me like you are quite seasoned. But in adventure, that is. But alas, I think you all deserve at least the chance of mercy, the chance of a new life, the chance of something you have never known or never heard of before. And I want to give you that chance now. Before we have to do our duty to make sure that you are not doing anything to hurt those free peoples of the world, who maybe not as, well, as you would say, enlightened as yourselves, are perhaps the more worthy of mercy, and do not deserve the things that you have been given, as you had not. Hate begets hate, hurt begets hurt. The only way to truly make a change is to suffer well and to offer it up for the good of others.
Make a charm skill check.
It's pretty good. That was pretty nice.
I'm gonna roll so horribly, and I have like a 0 to charm.
I thought you were pretty good at charm.
Oh my gosh. Am I pretty good? I don't know.
I thought you were. I thought Luke's all yeah, like that was the one good stat.
Charisma, charm. I have a +2, so
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay.
All right, 14.
Okay,
14.
all right.
He looks to you and he says, "You must understand, in the life that we live, there are very few who share their stories so openly. Even amongst my crew, many of them I don't know where they come from or what brought them here to the seas. And I'm almost inclined to shed a tear over your story." And he says, "I believe you." And he looks over to Yuki and he says, "And I also believe your threats as well."
As you can see, if I had it my way, it'd be different. However, it seems that you can see how persuasive my cohort is.
With that being the case, however, Many of us are too far gone. You say that Alomnia is there to save us. But there are many aboard this crew on the other ships that are hearts as black as night. Easily manipulable, malleable. It makes them good crewmates. They respect nothing but power. What brings them riches, what brings them glory. But there is always, and I mean always, someone or something that is more powerful than you. And you, little
Alomnia.
miss, say that this god, this Alomnia, this High King, is that which is more powerful. All I've experienced from this High King is his judgment.
At this point, Yuki takes out of her bag a Guardian Historia the one that she was reading on the deck of the ship, and says, "Have you actually read it? There's quite a lot in here that's wonderful. I see that," and she looks up at the black mast, "that you want something of great value for this. We can offer you two things. We can offer you this or a less savory reward. This is the better of the two options."
Not beating around the bush, I see. As I had mentioned, I am inclined to believe you, every word of what you have to say. Unfortunately for you, it is not necessarily my choice whether you leave here or not. As I had mentioned, everybody serves a higher power. Yours being your god. Mine. That being of Jackman Knobs.
I knew it. Freaking knew it. I knew it. Ah, so you spit it out finally. Ah, Jackman Knobs, you say, at Skyspire Island is where you're heading.
That is where it all began. There was a... Let's just say... he rose that place to high hell. It now exists as a sanctuary for people of my kind. And under the banner of Jackman Knobs, he's called all the unsavory from all across the seas. And with that, he has built an army.
And I will say this. You serve probably quite a powerful master. But I will give you this chance to serve a greater one. It will be... You might serve him while you are in this earthly life. But I promise you, after this one, you will answer to Alomnia. And Alomnia alone. I wish for you mercy. Now, you may never have asked for it, you may never have desired it, but he desires it of you. And I know this because I desire it of you as well.
He nods, and he says, he actually stands up, and he walks over very close to the two of you and kind of looks you both in the eyes, and he says, "You have my hands tied here. You've given me two options, neither of which are very appealing, as they both result in the death of me and my crew."
I would beg to differ. I would say one is a rebirth of sorts.
I don't think you understand.
If it's
If
If
you're
it's
as
directed-
powerful as you claim to be, by denying you whatever safety or freedom off of this boat, we will die under your hand or your crew's hand.
That's not what we want of it. However, we would have done it long ago if you would already be dead if we had wished that upon you. It is because we wish mercy upon you. Well, all we promise is that if you turn around, you turn yourselves in at Aishan Island, and you reform your life, then no one has to die, whether or not that's by us or by Jackman Nobbs himself. From what we know of that man, nothing but Davy Jones' locker is what awaits you.
And I fear me and my crew will be the ones to, unfortunately, have to deal with him in the end. And I promise you, if that day comes, I hope to offer him this mercy as well. We shall see if he accepts it. I have heard much of that man, and I still have some hope, but little.
He kind of looks at the two of you in sheer disbelief, almost as if the things that he is saying to you just don't even seem to faze you. And he turns around, sits back in his chair, and he says, "Turn over a new leaf, eh? There was a time I think any one of us would have taken you up on that offer. But it is too late for that. There's a pact we have made. The pact under the Pirate King.
And
I
what is
am
the penalty
not-
for breaking this?
Don't say I am not religious. I'm more superstitious. This pact promises us greatness, and we all took it of our free wills. But
Well,
by
you can take
breaking
your-
such a pact, it means only doom for all of us.
By whose hand?
By taking the pact, you've already doomed yourself. The only way to get out of that is by taking the option we now give you.
Well, if you say we are doomed, we might as well live to the best that we can.
See, you misheard me, my friend. You are only doomed if you do not repent and follow Alomnia. Now that is the ultimate choice. For Alomnia cannot have mercy on those who refuse to ask for it.
He stands up and he is kind of pacing back and forth, clearly getting more and more frustrated, and he says, I still don't think you understand. I think what you say is true, but I don't think in its entirety. You say you want us to repent, turn ourselves in at Aishan Island, Takai Town, where the Flortensia, Gunter Klaus, waits to throw us in chains, take us back to the Empire for judgment.
Well, if it's any consolation, you're not the only people we've given this offer to, and in fact, we have had people take us up on this. People who are no worse than you, and you know what? They're reformed citizens now, and they're working a good life. They thought as well the same that you did, that their souls were for naught, and that there was nothing there for them. However, that hasn't proven to be the case. It's not impossible.
Also, you say you want freedom. You say you want riches. And yet, my friend, it seems to me you are more a slave to this Jackman Nobbs than you are a captain of your own ship.
He gets frustrated, and he marches up to you, Luxalia, and he says, well, at least the riches that I gain, I can grasp with my very own fingers. It is you who shall give up hope. I will not turn myself in, as there is nowhere left to turn myself into.
Yuki hands him the Guardian History, and she's like, this is your last choice.
He takes his hand and he slaps it down to the ground and he says, Pillywog! That's use for our toilets. And he looks over and he points over to the island and he says, "You say you watch over this island, but this island is far past saving. Takai Town has been razed under our banners, under the banners of Jackman Knobs."
I will stoop down and pick up the Historia.
My heart is heavy this day, but I cannot say that I did not do my best. May Alomnia have mercy on you, my friend.
And then I will cast Heavenly Lights, which will light things up, and I assume with that Yuki
Yeah.
will
Well,
take
Yuki's
action and
Yuki's first and foremost going to, as this is all going on, Yuki's kind of looking around to see like the demeanor of the crew. Are they getting antsier as this is going to? Like, are they closing in on us? Or like, what's specifically going on with them?
Make a wisdom skill check for me.
12.
There has been a distinct change in the demeanor of the crew, particularly as you could see that Captain Sullivan has become more frustrated with the conversation. Yes, this circle has closed in around you, and those who even had their scabbards or their weapons tucked in their scabbards now have them out in front of them, almost close enough to be able to unleash fury. However, with this blinding light, many of them fall back in surprise and in awe. And this light, basically, it's like a star in the middle of the ocean, seen from all the way to probably Aishan Island, but also the Alomnia's breath. Thordain looks down at the crew, and he says, "Ready yourselves for battle."
Yeah, Yuki, as this happens, grabs Luxalia kind of like around, like between the armpits with one arm, and with her other arm, she turns to the captain and says, "I never wish it would have ended like this, but may Alomnia have mercy on your soul." And she whips out her Void and Vocal Broadsword towards his neck, just trying to end it there for him as she takes off into the sky.
oh snap!
Make an attack.
There's the difference between us, Yuki.
Well, so Yuki's thought process, I'll explain it to you guys, is a demoralized crew with a dead captain is much easier to get to surrender than one with a invigorated captain. That's her thing. Okay.
Well, all this is going down once Zil kind of heard it start going
Yeah,
south.
and you
He's
see
gonna
the
start climbing the
flash
ladder.
of blinding light.
That's a 21
He's
to
climbing.
hit.
He's climbing.
That is a what to hit?
21 to hit.
You absolutely hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
What is happening? What can Zil do?
That's max damage for 19.
You slash at him, and this sword, as you're getting lifted up into the air, it misses his throat. However, it leaves this huge, deep gash in his face as he basically covers his face, falling back down onto the deck. He takes 19 points of
Cutting damage.
and he howls in pain as many of the people are trying to get up. Zil, your continued climb as you see this as you peek your head over the side of the boat, with Luxalia and Yuki taking flight before you. You have a split seconds to decide what to do in this moment before you
I
climb
look
on board.
back. Can I see Alomnia's breath?
You can see Alomnia's breath in the distance. It's swimmable distance for sure. It would probably take you, I would say, 10 minutes to swim back to it. But
How's your swimming? Not good. I'm gonna climb up. I'm maybe not all the way up, but just kind of like prop myself up, just so they can see me.
Okay.
Like,
After all of them in their days see that the Yuki and Luxalia are being lifted and flying back in the direction, a couple of them do notice that it's like, "Oi, sir, they brought reinforcements," as like a couple of the pirates drag Captain Sullivan back using rags or whatever to be able to patch his deeply scarred face as he continues to howl in pain.
On second thought, I actually get all the way up onto the deck.
All the way up onto the deck.
Yes, hoping to keep their attention on me so Yuki can fly away to freedom.
She does. She's pretty quick as far
You
as
do
that
so,
goes.
and you get out on board this deck and you pull out your battle axe.
Well, we were hoping you'd choose the other path. Good luck to all of you. At this point, does it look like Yuki and Luxalia are safe?
To a degree. However, there are going to be a few attacks that are made. They're going to be because of the blinding light. They're going to be made at despair by the archers in the crow's nest, the arbalesters. And so I'm going to go ahead and make rolls. They really can only see Yuki as basically Luxalia is this ball of like light, fiery stuff. And so they can see Yuki and like her wings, so they're going to make attacks at Yuki. So
I'm gonna shout up.
say this as
So it
pirates
has a
come in and
200-foot radius, so it's pretty big.
Yeah, it's like a blinding.
Also, I do need to get going, so
Sounds good. This is actually a good point for us to take a very quick break before I get this
Great.
old map set up. But thank you so much for joining us. It was a good
course.
time, and we'll see.
sorry
what
for
ends up
being the
happening.
pacifist of the group.
No, it's
Although,
okay. This is
Cole,
good. Like
before
it
you
creates
go-
for good conversation and
Yeah.
intel. So, yes.
What's up?
Before you go, desires for Luxalia, any requests on how she is played?
Keep people alive.
Okay. Cool.
She literally just like use all of her efforts to keeping our people alive, and only attack if like it will save one of our people, pretty much.
Gotcha.
Cool. And with that, we will be right back, everybody. Don't go anywhere, as there's a lot more to come with the Everlast role-playing game, The Adventures of Eclaas. We'll be right back.
Woo. Can we be heard over the overlay? With that, I bid you adieu.
And we are back. Sorry about that, everybody. As Dane had mentioned, a bio-emergency. But yes, we are back, and Cole has pieced out, but we still have both Max and Dane here. We're
Sorry, quick. What happened? What did Zill do when he got on deck?
That's where we stopped it. So Zill
Okay.
jumped up on deck.
Cool.
He has his axe raised, and let me go ahead and edit some of these. I can now see Zill, and so that's all good. We're chilling. Which brings us to the potential of this combat. Before we do anything with you, Zill, I want to see what the choices that you guys want to make back on the Alamia's breath. And so, as far as like who's manning what, and the goals right now that you see Yuki and Luxalia flying away. So Thordane does see this, and he basically tells everybody, prepare yourselves for battle. What are next steps between the two of you?
Well, I was
Looking
thinking
at Elbin's
yeah.
sheet,
he's strength, right? He's has got a pretty big physical.
he's got an
modifier.
8 physical and a 5 dex. So he's going to be good on either the ballista or the cannon.
Yeah. What's Finn's quickly? What's his physical?
So Finn's physical's pretty high. He's got a +4 to his physical.
Maybe put Finn over here on this one towards the weaker ship, and maybe Belbin here on this one.
I will say this one's armored, so it's technically stronger. It's gonna
okay.
take.
But it's not armed, right?
No. So there's no ballistas or anything on top.
Okay, yeah, we'll keep him there. We'll keep him there.
So I
We'll put-
think for the sake of this battle,
Mhm.
we consider that one the quote-unquote weaker ship,
yeah, I
because it's
agree.
not as much of a threat.
I agree. Yeah, unless they ram us. Let's have this guy. Forget his name off the top of my head. Balthazar. Maybe he takes the helm and Thordane takes this ballista back here since it's deck space.
Okay. So someone needs to
Belbin here.
pilot the ship. So.
Yeah,
Balthazar
he'll
takes the
pilot.
helm.
He'll pilot the ship. Sariel will stay in the crow's nest with her bow, if that's okay.
Belbin currently was in the crow's nest, and now he's down on the ballista. Correct.
Yeah, I think so. Quick question: is Barnacle Bill dexterous?
He's quite dexterous. He actually has a +3 to his dex score.
Do we want to put him here, Max? Up here on this ballista?
Yeah,
It's dex. It's a dex ballista.
that's fine.
You can also go here and put anybody that you want down below deck, which means that they are no longer in combat unless you basically get overrun, essentially, then they'll be forced to come out. So,
who else is down below? I guess maybe at this time, can we have had someone gone and talked to Horatius and explained the situation to him?
yeah, I'm sure everybody knows. Because remember, the conversation that you guys were having previously was, like, on the deck with, like, everybody.
So what does he want to do as far as, like, combat is considered?
You don't really know what he does.
Well, we asked him basically, hey, we're going to arm the ship. What can you do? If you don't want to do anything, go below deck.
He says, I can protect those down below. I have, and he says, do you have any extra weapons or anything on board that I could use?
Got a lot, don't we?
Yeah, you got a
We
lot
just
from the
get-
wreckage
okay.
of the ship that he was a part of. So you give him some of that, and he says, I'll see what I can do to protect just in case anybody comes down below. But do be careful as he makes his way down below deck. Princess Mila also will start off down below deck. She'll fight if she has to, but she doesn't really have any innate fighting ability, to be honest.
So Max, quick question. Is our goal going to be to take down the big ship? Because I feel like once this ship is done, this one will probably cave, and this is where all the good treasure stuff is.
I mean, whether or not it'll cave, once that one's done, we can more easily take the other.
Take this one. So maybe focus a lot of our ire here. Although I'm sure there's some guys who can do some stuff over here, like obviously still put some fire here, but maybe I don't know. put repressing fire here and focus here until we can kind of even them off? What are you thinking?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think
Zill
too.
has terrible ideas. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Luckily, with Yuki being able to fly back and forth, I'm just trying to think of what's smart. We'll play it by ear. We'll play it by ear.
Do you remember
It
this,
is.
Kyle?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Does it still smell interesting?
No.
Wood. Okay, cool. With that, I will go ahead and ask: are you going to be putting any warning shots? So currently, the way that you guys are sailing is you're sailing straight towards them, and so you can hit potentially with one on each side with these ballistas. The swivels aren't going to be able to reach at the point that you guys are at now, but the ballistas do have range, and then obviously the Glyphex
For Frodo.
has range.
Woo!
Hey, thanks for the raid. I didn't hear anything that you said because of Aragorn, but thank you so much for all the raiders. You guys are amazing. You have just joined us for some pirate ship
have my
content,
sword.
so very exciting. And thank you
Thank
so
you,
much
thank
for the
you.
follow. Yes, as far as you guys are concerned, what are you aiming what guns at?
I mean, I think that's what we were going to be planning on, right? So maybe these fronts, or this one here, this one here.
You have my
Do we
sword.
want to go for the masts? Basically,
So basically what
What do
will
you think,
happen is
Bill?
you aim, so you will make basically a basic attack roll via the weapons on the ships. And then what I'll have you do is I'll have you roll a d4. On the result of a 1 through 3, you hit the whole of the ship. And on a result of a 4, you hit the masts. And so they have their own separate HP totals. Essentially.
how far off is our ship currently right now?
Currently, guys, you guys can get there within 2 turns of combat to where your
Okay.
guys' current position is right now.
If we drop anchor and turn the ship, can we get a Glyphex shot off like within a turn or 2 turns, or how long
You
would
can
that
get a
take?
Glyphex shot off now from the
Oh,
turn
let's
1
do
before
it.
you guys. But first and foremost, we have a couple like kind of pre-battle stuff before anything does happen. Meaning there are shots that are being made at the flying Yuki as you're carrying Luxalia away, and then which there are 6 people who are currently targeted. They're gonna have to spare because of the light, like the blinding light that's put up. But and then we're gonna have Zill rule for priority initiative.
Quick question, just to kind of make. I've got a plan formulating.
Okay.
Can Zill tell where their weapons, like ballista cannons, are?
They're
You have
down
my
below
sword.
deck. You can't see anything up here at the current moment. However, they're actually somewhere underneath. I think you have to go through this door in order to get to
Okay.
their weapons, and then.
But there's no like
below.
immediate weapons on deck that he can
No,
notice.
not like as far as like ballista bullets or just like random weapons just laying about. All the weapons.
Can
that
I
are
still
there.
see the captain?
You can. He has been pulled back over to the captain's quarters, and he is flanked actually by two guys.
Okay, great. Zill has a plan. It's gonna be great. It's terrible.
Hopefully, it
It's
doesn't
gonna be
lead to
great.
death, but yeah.
It might. Hopefully it's not Zill's death, but
And with that being the case, I'm going to go ahead and make shots. So we're going to do one at a time. So we got 1, 2, 3 here, and then 1, 2, 3. They're just normal longbow shots as they
Against the
are.
DV.
Yeah, against your DV. So it's going to be DV, and they're going to be rolling with despair. So first guy is going to be a natural 2, so that's not going to hit. Second guy is 16 to hit.
Yeah, it does hit.
And that is going to be for a total of 3 points of cutting damage.
Nice.
Third guy, he's going to make his shot. That's going to be an 8 to hit.
No, that doesn't hit.
Okay. Fourth guy, which is the guy here, is going to make his shot.
How many people are there?
Eight, six. It's gonna be 8 because there's
that's a
6
hit.
people in crow's nests, and so
Cool.
that doesn't hit. The next one is a 12 to hit,
Nope, that doesn't hit.
and then the last person is going to be
You have my sword.
a 13.
Nope, that doesn't hit.
Okay, and with that, that's going to be the first round of combat done, meaning I'm going to have both Yuki and looks up. Basically, everybody just roll for combat initiative. Don't roll for anybody on board Alamia's breath, and so it's going to essentially be one ship roll here, and then it's going to be the 3 of you. So, or Zil,
Luxalia. Zil?
or Luxalia.
Zil got a
Either
12.
12.
Okay. Thordain, you said included?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. That'll be 11 for Yuki.
8 for Luxalia.
All right, which brings us to the top of the first combat round, meaning I have all of their stuff rolled previously, thank goodness. We're gonna go ahead and start doing some stuff. So the first people to move are the first mates of both ships. They're gonna go ahead and begin to use their support actions. What are they gonna do? 5, 10, 15, 20 at the top of the stairs here. This one is sailing, so she has to stay put there. This one is gonna go ahead and call bark orders, which essentially allows anybody that is within 30 feet. So these two to make as a reflex support action make attacks. It's gonna go. So they're gonna make sword attacks. So
Mistakes have been made.
that is gonna be a natural 16.
Oh no!
A total damage of 12 cutting damage.
Ah, it's nothing.
This guy,
You're made of stronger stuff than that.
this guy is going to, I'm assuming, not hit for an 8.
Nope.
And she is going to pull out her bow and ready herself for the attack phase. The next person to go are my Reavers. And so this guy's going to move 5, 10, 15, 20 here. This person, there's only one Reaver out there, and then no Reavers out on deck. Okay, cool. And then the next one goes to the Arbalesters, who will now have their turn. So they're going to go ahead and continue to make shots. All 6 of them at Yuki and Luxalia. So first set of shots is going to be a natural 2 that doesn't hit. They still have despair on them. Second one is going to be a natural 2. Third one is going to be a natural 3, which is going to hit. Moving on to the second ship, it's going to be a natural 2, which is not going to hit. And then the last one is going to be a 12 to hit.
Nope. Hey.
All
Dexterous
shots
in
as you
there.
begin to fly away off into the horizon. All shots just missing their mark. With their now focused on him. So for all of you that are watching, the ship, Alami's Breath ship, has not actually made its way there yet. It's going to be 2 turns before it does get to this point where it's set up. So that's why attacks and stuff aren't going to be made here yet at the current point. Which brings us to the bosuns, which I do have a bosun somewhere here, who is going to go 5, 10, 15, and he is going to pull out his bow to begin making shots. Or, no, he's his hand axes. He's going to do this. So he started here. He's going to go 5, 10 with a clear shot at Zil with his hand axes ready to make as a reflex support actions. He's going to go ahead and shot. He has 2 attacks, so he's going to make his first one as his reflex support action. I had a natural 1, so he misses. His axe goes soaring off and kerplunk it into the water. The second one is going to be 11 to hit.
Nope.
DV against DV. And then, yeah, that's all he can do. I guess that's all that the bosuns can do, which brings us to Zill.
Okay. Zill, so Zill is kind of, as he's moving around, he's always going to be looking to make sure he can see the deck of Alumnia's Breath. So if I try to move somewhere, let me know if that puts me out of sight of that.
Perfect.
Like
Yeah,
that
you
is
can still see
his
them
main
kind of off
focus.
on the horizon, for sure, but you can see the movement on deck as everybody begins to take their guns, including Aldrig Monteblair at the front with his Glyphix cannon.
So I think he's going to move right here. Before he moves, I'm going to use Barsul.
Okay.
Which, oh gosh, where's that one? So as I just start saying this, you kind of see like two twin runes, like right here near his collarbones, start glowing from underneath his armor. This adds my piety score to my DV until the end of the round.
Okay.
So now my DV is, what's my piety? My DV is currently 22.
Whew. Oh my gosh.
With that. And then getting into position, I'm guessing like 15-foot cone would kind of hit these 5.
So not this guy up, he's in the crow's nest.
Oh, he's in the crow's nest?
Yeah, so this guy's in the crow's nest. It
Oh.
would hit him, and it would either hit, let's 1, 2, these guys, or if you move it this way, it would hit him. It's either these two or these two.
Okay, I didn't realize that guy was in the crow's nest. So if I move here, will it hit these 4?
Because there's like about 10 foot. It moves about 10 feet upwards this way, so you'd be hitting the part this.
Oh, are these two guys on the right upstairs?
Yeah, these two are upstairs.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, this guy might be
Can I
on
change-
the stairs. Yeah, this guy's on the stairs, so you could probably hit him. This guy. You
Okay.
can hit him, so 3.
I want to at least get these 3.
Okay.
Is that happening?
Yep, that's happening.
Great. I'm gonna use Vrudon.
Okay.
So they have to make an agility survival check against my elemental. Oh gosh, this is not good.
This guy on the left got a nat 1.
Oh, nice.
This guy in the middle, I am rolling poopies.
They have to
Good.
beat us
Yeah, thank you.
6.
Captain got a 5.
Oh, let's go.
And
Holy.
this guy on the right got a 12.
Okay, so he passes. So, but the 2 who failed take 6,
First blow.
9 damage and are prone.
All right. So yeah, basically this Vrudon voice goes boom as this like basically a runic charge echoes out of Zill's mouth. They both smack up against the side of basically the wall, and they slump down. This is the guy you said takes 9. Oh, both of them take 9.
I think so. Let me double check. Wait, yeah, 9 damage. 9. Do you need the type?
No.
Okay.
9 damage. And with that, is that going to be the end of your movement phase?
Yep.
Cool.
What we got?
Yeah. So I have a quick question, clarifying question. I know, like, when I'm flying, I can't make weapon attacks per se.
Well, you're also carrying Luxalia too, so.
Exactly. But would I be able to do any of my songs?
Yeah, I would say so. Like
Okay.
support actions and stuff like that, you could probably start activating those.
Okay.
Quick question. My cape,
Yes.
can it bring someone with?
What did we say before? I think we said it
I'm-
did.
Okay.
because it's whatever's
Right.
like maybe like whatever's like equipped to you. So if you can like somehow like tie somebody to you, it would technically they would be equipped to you.
Yeah.
I would have
quick-
to tie them, not just grapple them.
Yeah, I would say so because you would have
Okay.
to like have them as like part of your group. Well, I guess that
That's
would be
pretty-
the case because you're holding your axe. Yeah, so you don't just abandon your axe. So yeah, if you grapple them, you can take someone with you.
Great. This idea is getting worse and worse, or better and better.
Okay, so I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if I wanted to use my heroic concerto,
Mm-hmm.
would that be? Where does it say whether or not that's a support action or an attack action? It's an attack ability, so would I have to save that to my attack? Yeah,
You said
heroic
it
concerto is the
is-
second one down.
Heroic Concerto. Yeah, so you have to target this at somebody as an attack action. So this is part of your it's like an art attack kind of.
Yeah.
So you would have to have somebody to target with this, someone within 50 feet.
Okay, and I'm assuming at this point I'm further than 50 feet from the
Definitely
closest
you're
person?
further than 50 feet away from
Okay.
anybody.
Good to know. Good to know. Good to know. Well, if that is the case, I'm going to use. I'm going to use a blissful warning. So I may add my charisma charm score to my DV or RV value for D4 combat rounds. I'm going to do that one as a support action.
Okay, perfect. So you make sure you
Yeah.
mark that off.
Mark that
And
off.
so you add your charm score. So
To my DV. So I'm gonna add I'm gonna have 18 DV temporarily.
and then for how many combat rounds?
D4.
Yuki,
2 combat rounds. Yes.
is your flying speed tied to your movement speed?
It's 60, I believe. So no.
Okay.
60, yeah. So no. It is not. But basically she's gonna keep moving back towards the ship, is what she's gonna keep doing. So
Yeah, and you do so. So the plan is to like meet up with them like halfway as like the ship does move.
yes. So meet there. So they're flying up high enough that in case any cannon fire happens, there's no way that they could be hit. But they're kind of gonna meet them halfway, land on the ship, and then prepare for tactics afterwards. So.
Which
And
brings-
Luxali, she's also gonna like hold Luxali in a way in case she wants to do any action, she can. I don't know if like it would do anything, but if she wants to do stuff, she can.
Which brings us then to. So we have which is Luxalia's turn next. So,
Yes.
and Zil, you initiated a combat challenge here, correct?
Yes. They, Luxalia and Yuki are still in the air, right?
Yes, they are. They're flying.
Okay, Luxalia is gonna cast haste on, Yuki.
Oh,
Which does what?
So you get plus 10 movement, walking movement, but also your next priority initiative roll gets a plus 2.
nice. She'll take it.
So get us back to the ship safely, please.
Well, luckily that extra DV should help. So
Is that
I
what Luxalia is
think-
going to be doing in the meantime?
I think so.
Pirates are going to start piling in. So
what's her passive really quick? Like what was that passive again that she can heal stuff from people?
No, that's changed now. She gets 2 mana if she doesn't cast an art.
Oh, okay, cool. Alright.
But also stamina doesn't go away as quickly anymore, so
Yeah, that's true. Oh, was
Not
it
a
a
big-
stamina thing? I couldn't remember
Yeah,
what.
yeah,
we
it
got.
was.
Okay.
it was stamina.
So
Nice.
all of these pirates just came in and are starting to do their thing against Zil, initiating combat challenges. Captain,
Oh my
he's already
God, what have I
initiated a combat challenge, so he can't do anything. Which brings us
What have
to
I done?
the ship. All right.
How
ship
the heck is he? How the heck is the captain not dead after taking a max damage slashed the face and a brute onto the chest.
Because he is thick with 2 C's.
Apparently.
It's got these kind of characters too have got to prove some kind of a challenge, especially because you're beating the heck out of them. All right, which brings us to Lamia's breath, which I'm assuming just continues moving, and any ballista bolts or cannons or anything that need to happen.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and start with Belbin making its shot on the brig ship. So it's just going to be for Belbin a physical skill check against the DV of the ship.
Do you want to roll it, or do you want me to roll it? I guess you technically have Belbin's sheet, right?
Physical skill
Ooh,
check.
nat 16.
Nat 16. Well, that's going to be maximum damage for whatever the ballista bolt is. And I'm going to have you roll a d4 whether you're attacking the masts or you're attacking the hull. On a 4, it's a mast. Anything else is a hull.
I rolled a 3.
3. So you're attacking the hull of the ship for maximum damage. What's the maximum damage?
5d10. 5d10, so it is 50 siege damage. 50 siege. Nice, Belbin. Look at you.
Yeah.
Belbin
I don't
lines
know
up
what
the shot with
I
the
don't know what
ballista
I'm doing.
and just unleashes, whoosh, and it like this ballista bolt comes right into the side of this ship as it just. Everybody goes back and forth as you can feel the impact. Everybody kind of gets like a little bit of movement as it's a direct hit. Which brings us to Finn. I'm gonna go ahead and make a physical skill check for Finn, and he got a nat 16 too.
Oh,
15 damage.
50 siege damage. What is happening?
At the masts, which blow the masts of the ship completely off.
Nice.
Yeah, basically he lines his shot up and he's just like, nice hit, Belbin. But watch this, as he targets upwards, he looses this ballista bolt where it like hits both masts. Actually, I think there's 3 masts on this thing. And it hits all 3 of them. Boom, 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 as just like all of the masts begin to fall off and you begin to hear panicking as the wood falls down onto the deck of the ship.
Nice.
Completely crippling its movement.
Nice.
Wow, that's crazy.
Good job, Finn. He's our bosun for a reason.
Which brings us to Aldreg Monteblair with the cannon. Are we aiming this sucker at
Big boy.
the big boy
Big
ship?
boy. Yeah.
All right, so it's an elemental skill check. He has a plus 3 elemental. I'm going to have Dane go ahead and roll this. D16.
Just D16.
Yep, D16. It's going against the ship's RV, so chances of hitting.
That's a dirty 16.
Dirty 16. All right, that is going to be.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea.
500.
Let me look up Lithics Canning.
Oh, do I have to roll where it hits too?
Yes, D4.
That's a 2.
Okay, so that hits the hull of the ship. That's going to be 10d8 electric
Woo!
damage.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
If only it was metal. We should have done it against the metal shit.
Can I have one of you guys roll that?
Hey, I'll roll it.
You got it?
10d8. That's gonna be a lot of damage too.
I got it.
I just have D&D.
Hold on, I got this. We got real dice. We're doing.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
This needs real dice.
I'll let you do it.
Let's see.
Do
Wait.
you have 10d8 on you right now?
I got 7.
And then just roll 3.
Yes, we're gonna roll 7. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, you get that chunky damage in on there.
Here. 8, 10, 20, 31. Gotta roll 3 more. 31. 31. 52.
As you unleash this bolt, or of just like lightning, this ball of lightning goes Aldrich, he aims it and he says, "Don't worry, I was once the bosun of the Flortensia," as he's like very much calculating this, and as he aims it at the front of the ship, you hear this kind of energy as this giant lightning ball, just even faster, moving even quicker than the ballista ball, just pierces into the ship, and it just blows a hole in the hull of the ship, I guess. Everybody moves around, and actually everybody falls prone, including you, Zil.
Nice.
Oh no.
Everybody
wait.
does.
Do I have an ability for this? Oh, I used all my support actions.
It's okay. It's okay. No one will be attacking you, at least.
The ship is has actually caught on fire inside the hole as well.
Sweet.
As you're just unleashing fury and unleashing hell, the captain looks up to you, Zil, and he says, "Hi, if we're gonna go down, I'm taking you with us." As everybody is just like on their backs. All right, that's cool. That's all that you can do, meaning we're moving to the attack phase, which is Zil. So all of your attacks are going to be made at despair against anybody that's around.
Okay, I'm gonna first attack this guy.
Okay.
Well, do I get the 9 or the 9? But that is a 17 to hit.
17 will hit for a total of
Oh, I don't need to track this experience anymore.
Nice.
12, 20 damage.
Yeah, you laying it down like on your back. You look and you see the guy to the next to the captain that got Vrudoned against the wall. He tries to pick the captain up, and as he does so, you take your axe in one hand, you go, slam it down right in his sternum, and he falls dead. Dead to the wall.
And now I'm gonna try to grapple the captain.
Okay. Absolutely. So that's going to be a contested physical skill check. Not physical, endurance skill check for me.
Okay. Regular, despair, hope. What are we doing?
We'll just do regular
Both
because you're
prone.
both prone. So just regular. It's going to be 17.
Dang it. Nope. 11.
As you reach out to grab him, he kicks you off the top of him, and he says, "What are you doing?" As he readies his sword to attack. I'm assuming those are both your attack actions.
Yep. That's 2.
Cool. Yuki, you can't do anything at the moment. It's all
Pass.
Passing. Okay, pirates. Everybody's gonna get their shot. At least these 3 are gonna get their shot at you, which means they're gonna be at despair.
With a 22 DV, I'd like to see it.
Yeah. Good luck.
Wait, Zilla's 22? Why?
Because I
it's
used
a Barstool.
Barstool.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Barstool.
Oh, actually,
I knew I was gonna be surrounded.
I don't think they can actually hit you with their modifiers. So all of their attacks.
Let's go.
Even at, well, I guess I'll roll. They can technically at a natural 16. So we'll just see if
Oh
they
yeah,
hit natural
16 will hit.
So first guy, no, got a 12. Second guy, no, got a 6, and third guy got a 2. So, yeah, they're just chinking off of your armor. They're hitting you with their weapons. It just is clinking off of kind of like your spiritual imbued armor. Just ching, ching, ching. And that brings us down to first mate here. Can't see you because of your proneness, so can't make shots. Pirates. Anybody else here? I shouldn't have made the attacks.
What happened to the dudes in the crow's nest on that ship?
They're still in the crow's nest because like the crow's nests have like sides on them, so they're.
Oh, but didn't the mast just get blown off of it?
Oh, here. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they should probably take falling damage. Which that is 20 feet up, so that's going to be 12 for this guy as he falls.
Oh my god.
That is a good freaking point.
Ouch.
That's 12. The second guy takes. damage as he falls prone. And the third guy takes 14 damage and he falls prone.
Dang.
That freaking
If
wretch.
only Luxalia could control water like she used to.
Just swallow the ships up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's all of them, which brings us to the captain. So he's gonna make an attack against you, and he can hit you if he rolls a 15.
Okay, bring it on.
So 15 or 16. No, he got rolled. He is not hitting. He's gonna make a second attack because he's got 3 of them. So second attack, natural 1 misses. Third attack, natural 1 misses. Well, that's fun.
You're rolling like me.
Rolling terribly. And okay, top of the next combat round, go ahead and roll for priority initiative. Oh no!
Is
Yeah,
everyone
everybody
included?
just stands up at this point.
Okay.
From there, there's no like positioning rules for endurance because everybody's prone and everybody's just gonna stand up at this point. So at the end of the combat round, you are no longer prone, essentially. So
Remember, you get a +2.
I do, yeah. Is everyone rolling for initiative now?
no, just the same people until this ship becomes technically grappled in combat. Nobody on the ship, so it's basically
Alright.
3 of you guys.
15 for Yuki.
17 for Luxalia.
Luxalia.
And so
8. Which is problematic.
Now we'll see.
Luxalia, what can you do?
okay. First mate is going to begin calling for reinforcements. So she's going to use her support action to call for reinforcements, which means at the end of this combat round, D4 pirates will show up. Meaning
Nice.
3 pirates are going to show up at the end of this combat round.
Oh, wait a minute.
Did she
There is a
infinitely do that?
limited number of
Okay.
pirates that are on this ship, FYI. So there are a limited number.
Did
so-
any get blown out the side of the hole?
Oh yeah, plenty of them got messed up here. Meaning these 2 ballistas are so, and then there's 4. So
Oh, you know what? Something Luxalia could do if she really wanted to? She could use her storm necklace and start reloading charges for the Glyphix cannon. If she doesn't want to like do anything, if she can't do anything, like she wants to be a pacifist, she could easily do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, she never uses it. I gave her the necklace, and she's just like, "What a wonderful accessory this is."
all right, cool. Which brings us to Luxalia. So what does Luxalia want? Oh, and at this point, Yuki, Alamia's breath is underneath you guys, so you can go ahead and use this.
Okay, cool.
What does Luxalia gonna do? Random question. Is the boat an ally?
The boat is not an ally, no. It's a vehicle.
Darn. Like, can I cast Protector of Light on the boat?
Just surrounding this giant vessel in.
Well, technically, I mean, so we're over the boat, so whoever's like in the general vicinity of us.
We could cast it on the crew, but
Yeah.
I was thinking the boat itself.
Oh, gotcha.
Luxalia will cast Protector of Light. How far above the boat are we?
You are probably sitting at like 15 feet, even with the mast, so you can probably see Sariel and the.
Okay, so it's got a
Like eye
30-foot
level.
radius.
To do
30-foot
some
radius.
geometry.
So that should get
I would say-
everybody.
hold up. So I have to change your positions here. So you guys are probably about here, I would say.
And how far out is the boat from their boats?
One turn away, meaning that is going to be at a pace of 150 feet.
Okay. Yeah, so this should hit everyone on the boat. They have until the end of this combat round. If they take damage, they take 5 less damage.
Cool.
Basically.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and move down to
Yuki?
the Reavers.
Yuki's got it. Yuki wants to go. Before Yuki?
Before Yuki.
Oh my gosh, you're so quick.
Come in here and initiate a combat challenge against
He's in the crow's nest.
yeah, so he's going to initiate combat challenge against you. Yeah, he's got 3 attacks, so he's trying to pin Zill down into this position. That's the one thing Reavers have. They just have a bunch of attacks that they just like throw out. I don't think there's any Reavers on this boat, which brings us to the Arbalesters. These guys stood up from their position. They can't do anything. There's no one to make shots at, so they are not going to do anything. Yuki, is your turn.
Okay. So Yuki's gonna land, obviously, and she's actually gonna make her way up here by Belbin. And so from this position right here, can she see anyone on the boat to shoot at potentially?
What is the range of your?
Yeah, I'm looking.
I think it's 150 feet.
It's 100, unfortunately.
So yeah, you wouldn't be able to make shots at them.
Okay, that's fine. She's gonna help Belbin reload the ballista.
Okay, perfect. And it is actually ready for shots because of that.
And Luxalia didn't move. Axe didn't move her, so she'll just stay there, I guess.
Which brings us to the bosun. Our bosuns here, so it's gonna go 5, 10, 15, 20.
Oh, can I do one thing really quick as well? Or no, I guess that would have taken the movement action, right? If I helped load, I wouldn't be able to do another support action, or is that only one support action to load?
It's one support action to load. Like to help load, basically.
I can't remember. Do I currently have 3 attack actions and 1 support action,
Yes.
unless I have a blade dance going?
Exactly.
Okay, never mind.
I think even with a blade dance going, you don't unlock the second support action until level 10.
Well, never mind. It changed. So basically, the blade dance was a support action. Now it's an attack action. If that makes sense.
Got it.
So it basically gave me another support action while it was active, but no, never mind.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Bosun is going to go ahead and to do his pillaging call, which essentially gives everybody in 30 feet. 5, 15, 20. Basically, this whole group of people, including them, a +3 to hit on all of their attacks for the combat round. And that's what he's going to do. And then, what else do we have here? That's all he can do. Which brings us to Zill. So Zill, you do have a combat challenge initiated against you right now by one guy, technically. This guy.
Can I use support actions with that?
No, so you would have to technically disengage as a support action in order to do so, essentially. In order to free yourself in order to do a support action.
I'm gonna try to disengage.
Okay, so that's going to be a endurance skill check against you.
Now one.
That's a natural 15, so you do not escape. He puts his sword out and he says, "You're going nowhere." He's dual wielding swords.
You
This
might
guy-
as well
this
try
guy's
again.
on bloodlust. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, it's not gonna do anything because
Well, you could re-engage with him if you wanted to.
There's not really a benefit to that. Other than
Well,
like,
he could.
moving
You could
specific-
run. You could run out of here and not be
I'm
surrounded by. Millions.
surrounded.
Well, there's an open space right here.
Yeah, there's one place to escape from. It looks like if you do disengage, because there's only the one person who is technically initiating a combat challenge against you as of now.
I guess I will. What am I trying to do?
We're coming to your rescue, Zil. Don't worry.
Can't do a support action. Ah! Throws everything off. Try to disengage again, I guess.
Okay. It's gonna be 9.
Nope.
So you are locked in combat for the meantime.
That's all I can do.
The next are
Okay.
going to be the Arbalesters. They are. Yeah, they're all gonna just take aim at you. So, they're gonna have a tough time. So they have despair on shots against you because, this guy just has it normally against you. Actually, no, I don't think he would be in range. Yeah, probably not. So they have shots of despair against you once the attack phase comes with their bow. And then that brings us down to Yuki. Oh, we already counted you.
Yeah, I already went.
So, pirates. So they're just gonna come in. Boop, boop, boop. This guy. Is gonna move in here. Initiate combat. That's the captain who is gonna just initiate combat. This is gonna be a little bit rough for you.
Yeah.
If they do hit, again, do you still have 22, or was that just until the end of the
No, that's just the end of the combat round.
Okay.
Could still be fine.
All right,
You're good.
Alamia's breath. They're moving. So they have officially made their way to the current position that they are in right now. So Alamia's breath is here to the rescue.
Does that mean I'd be able to attack this turn then?
Technically, yeah, because you guys are within range.
Nice.
So making shots. Sweet. Which means next turn I'm gonna have the Eclaas crew roll. I have the entirety of this crew under one.
Roll. Yeah.
One roll. It's a lot of separate rolls if we have to do it. Okay, cool. Which brings us to the top of the combat round, which is the first mate. Who is here and is going to make a longbow shot across the water here. At Sariel, probably.
Oh, poor Sariel. She did nothing wrong.
And that's going to be a 10, which does not hit.
Whoop.
Second shot. 16, which does hit Sariel for a total of 3 points of... So not too bad. Just a glance on Sariel. Oh, by the way, I'll tell you how much HP all of your party has. So Finn has 40 hit points. Lyra has 22. Sariel has 20, now 17. Bree has 36. Barnacle Bill has 18. Balthazar has 32. Aldrich Monteblair has 24. Kokoro has 35. And, yeah, that's everybody on there, right?
Yep.
So they're all looking pretty healthy, pretty good at the moment. So that's going to be the first mate. This first mate over here is steering the ship, so he's not able to do anything. Although she probably, I guess there's no mass anymore, so there's no need to steer the ship. But it's fine. She's still there. I didn't move her. Which brings us to Luxalia. Is Luxalia going to do any attack actions?
No.
Not even use electricity to restart.
Is that
the
an
generator?
attack action?
That is a support action.
Ah, bummer. Should have used it. Oh well.
Looks like he's
Here we
being
are.
pacifist. That's what Cole asks. So
No. I know. I mean, that's not even necessarily. It's not attacking though. It's just helping out the crew.
helping out the part of the ship.
Part of the ship. Part of the crew.
Yep.
Yep.
Arbalesters, they're all going to do their thing. I guess they're going to start making attacks at people. So these three are going to make attacks at Finn with their longbows. First one is going to not hit at a 12. Second one's going to hit at a 14 for a total of 5 points of cutting damage. So first one there. And then a third person taking a shot at Finn is going to hit for a 16 non-natural for a total of 3 points of cutting damage. I'm really low.
Is this
I'm
the
rolling
first-
really low damage here.
Good.
Wait, is this the first time Finn's been hit?
I think
This
so.
is the
Yeah.
second time.
Well, Azaeldun hit everyone. Real
Are you
good.
talking about with the light?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So is it reduced then?
The first hit
Yeah,
was.
so he takes 5 less.
So the first one was 0 damage.
So first one is 0. So now
If it any,
Then he took
and
3.
then
he's to make a survival. Base survival
the
check.
enemy creature just takes damage equal to that character. No, this character. So Luxalia's faith modifier.
Okay, so which is
So 8.
Whew.
8
Whoa.
damage.
Technically, Sariel got that too.
Oh, that's true.
So
Yeah,
the
against this
the
guy.
first mate will take.
negates Ariel's damage and
That guy takes 8.
and this guy takes 8. Woo. Dang, that hits hard. It's still good. It's still legit. All right, cool. And then we are gonna go ahead and move down to. Actually, that was really useful because I actually just straight up just negated damage.
Nice.
Yeah, really nice. More Arbalester shenanigans. This guy is gonna make a shot at Aldrich Monteblair. Did the Luxalia's light hit him too?
It's a
Yep,
30-foot
everyone.
radius, so 30 feet in every direction.
So probably not, since he was at the very front of the ship, I would assume. Because she was, when that happened, Luxalia was elevated 15 feet above. So 15 feet down and then diagonally across. I think he's further than 15 feet up.
Well, it's a radius. It's not a.
Yeah, no, radius.
But, so does that
Where
include
is it?
down? Does that include...
Yeah, it's like in all directions.
How
So,
far is
no,
he?
I don't think he would be affected.
With
Oh.
Kokodo?
How far is he forward?
So he is from Luxalia's position 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet from Luxalia's current with 15 feet up. Look at Max pulling out the calculator.
Oh, he is 4 feet out.
He's 4 feet out. Kokoro does get the.
Darn. Pythagorean theorem.
Oh.
Let's go.
Okay, cool. So that's going to be a 12, which does hit for a total of 6 points of damage to Aldrich Mont.
Oh my gosh. Aldrich, get out of there, my guy.
Yeah, he's probably going to just book it down below, unless you want him to reload this freaking Glyphex cannon, which means he has to take the charge all the way back here, reload it, and then come back. If you're
It's
done-
not even charged though, is the thing. So
Yeah, if you just want to retreat within next combat round, then you can retreat within. That's the Arbalesters. Yuki, it is your turn to make attacks. If you want to
yeah, Yuki seeing Zil in the tight pickle that he is in. Who's looking rough from what she can see? Anyone?
Well, the only one who's taken damage amongst all of these guys is the captain.
Is he looking rough though? I mean, he's got a big old cut.
Yeah, he's
against
got a
his face.
big freaking gash across his face. So,
Can she see the first mate right here?
yeah, I would say so.
Okay. She's gonna make 2 shots with her hunting bow at
Okay.
her. Okay. So the first one will be a 13 to hit.
13 hits.
Sweet. 2d6. So that's 10 cutting damage for that first one. And then the second, she's just gonna make another shot at her. That'll be a 12 to hit.
12 does not.
Okay. Woo! It's flung into the aether.
Big shot right in the chest. Doesn't feel good. All right, the next one is going to be the bosun, which he's not in range of anybody to attack, so he's not attacking. Zill, it is your turn to start unleashing fury.
The guy who... This guy, right?
Yeah, the guy who stopped you, the Reaver.
We're attacking him.
All right. Oh, Reaver didn't
21.
make his attacks. After this, he needs to do his attack actions. So,
21.
21 will hit.
5, 9, plus 8, 17 damage.
Nice. That's what I like to... Oh, I got it. Yuki has another attack action, by the way.
Go ahead and make it
It's 3
while
attack.
Zill is
Yeah.
rolling.
Sorry, I forgot.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's done.
Is it possible to try to grapple the captain?
Yeah, if you want to.
Is that at despair or anything?
That's
or
going to be at
because of
despair
combat?
because you're surrounded by all kinds of people. But yes, you can absolutely try to grab the captain grapple.
That's a contested endurance check. Ugh.
Believe in you. Believe in you.
14!
14.
Look at that.
Double 12s.
You grab onto him and you hold him tight, as if to do something here.
That's all, I'm out of action, so that's all I got this turn.
It's a hostage.
It's
Yuki
a
has a
hostage.
15 to hit, by the way.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, 15.
That will be 11 cutting damage. That.
Finally got a good roll. Now I just need to hold on to him till next turn. Ah!
How is the hunting
got
bow
this.
doing that much? Isn't a hunting bow only D8?
It's a
Plus your
D8 plus
dexterity?
6. Plus 6.
I'll give
Or it
plus
says a
6
D8
series.
plus 6. It says plus 6 on there.
Because the
So
hunting
the
bow
first,
is your dexterity.
yeah, the
for-
first roll was a 4, and then the second roll was a 5. So I don't know why it's a plus 6, but
I don't know why it's a plus 6 too. It's probably not a plus 6. It's your dexterity.
so
score.
Ash is a plus 1 bow, right?
Ash is a regular. No.
Okay,
yeah,
so-
regular. No pluses.
So that would be the first one would have been. Let me change that by the way. But the first one would have been 6 cutting damage, and the second one would have been 7 cutting damage.
14 total.
13 total.
13 total. Cool. All right, that's looking a little bit. I was like, dang, that's a lot of damage. It's like Thordane level damage.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yuki's pretty nice. He destroys people.
All right, cool. Which brings us down to Zill, the pirate. So all of them are going to get turns. They all have +3. All these guys have +3. We'll do the Reaver first. So he has 3 attacks at +3. So first attack,
You're thick though, right? You got 16.
15
17?
hit.
Nope.
Second. Not, and then third. Nope, none of his attacks hit.
Yeah, nice.
And then all these pirates have 1. So first guy.
Do they have to roll contested against the captain since Zill's got him in a chokehold?
First guy misses. Second guy misses. Third guy misses. They all have rolled 4s naturally. And then last guy, 4. All four of them rolled 4s.
I have gotten missed 15
Are
times.
so freaking lucky. I am just rolling so bad.
This
This
is-
could be way worse than it is.
This
know.
was the plan all along.
All right, the
Zill's
Zill's
captain's,
gotten hit once this combat.
captain's got 3 attacks.
At disadvantage though, since he's grappled.
Oh, that's true. Actually, yeah, that is true. So first attack, it's despair plus 3. So
Yeah.
Okay.
still a 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
For a total
Just
of
barely.
Slapping him in his kneecaps.
8 points of cutting damage. Second attack.
Not bad. I can take 8 damage.
15 to hit.
Nope.
Third attack does less than that. So you've taken 2 hits. Gosh, Zill. Gosh,
2
Zill.
hits out of 17.
2 hits out of
Attack.
17. And then that brings us down to the ship Alamia's breath. Yeah, Finn was not able to reload because he technically didn't get actions until now. So there's 1 ballista bolts and potentially swivel cannons. That
Yeah, swivels.
swivel bolts.
Swivels.
So Thordane, just a dexterity skill check for attack, and I'll roll for Barnacle Bill.
Alright. Dexterity? Okay.
Yeah, Barnacle Bill is actually going to start aiming at people up on the board. He's gonna shoot.
So- 13 plus 4, what is that, 17?
What is he aiming at?
Well, okay. Roll D4. That's a 1.
So he's aiming at the ship.
Yeah.
14. You do hit the ship.
Okay. Or 17.
17. Yeah, will
Is 17.
definitely hit the ship. For a total of these guys have what's their damage? They're swivel arbalists. 2d8 damage.
So that's 10 arbalist damage. I don't know what that is. Is that siege damage?
No, just cutting. So
Okay.
10 damage, which is halved because it's not siege damage.
Oh.
Yeah. Basically, like siege damage makes you hit normally against like vehicles and like walls and like things. Like that.
Oh, I probably should have aimed at a dude, shouldn't I?
I'll let you aim at a dude. Pick whoever you want to aim
I
Just
will aim at an
dudes.
archer.
at. An archer.
I'll aim at an archer. So probably this guy right
just
here.
Normal 17 hits for how much damage?
Yeah.
You said 10.
10. Yeah, 10 cutting.
The Arbalester gets shot real bad. He's still alive, but barely. Yeah, which brings us down to
Did Barnacle Bill hit anyone good?
Barnacle
Did-
Bull. Yeah, he has to make his attack.
And then Belbin's got his attack too.
He does not hit anything. With his,
Oh, Barnacle.
Arbalester. And the nice thing with the swivel arbalists, you don't have to reload them. Like spend an actual reload. It's not like a giant bolt. It's just kind of like you just shoot.
Belbin's got a shot.
All right, Belbin, go ahead and make your shot at the ship.
Yeah.
Not into the group of enemies that are attacking.
What is that? Plus hit, just plus his
His dexterity or his physical sword.
physicals.
Physical.
D16 plus
So 14.
14 will hit.
Nice.
Roll a d4.
Get it, Belbin.
3. That's going to be against the whole of the ship.
What am I rolling for damage?
It's 10 or 5d10.
Yeah, 5 to 10. Or yeah, 5 to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4. Big dice rolls are fun.
Except for when you don't have enough dice.
I have them. I just gotta find them. Okay, let's see. That's 10, 27.
7 points of damage.
Blowing holes in the side of the ship.
And the ship at this point has begun to take on water and it's slowly sinking. At the rate that it's currently at right now, it will have fully submerged by the end of 5 turns from now.
Okay.
Cool.
And with that, that is going to be the bottom of the combat round, meaning you're going to have to make a contested endurance skill check for Zil against all of these people, and because you're grappling, it's going to be at despair.
Oh no.
So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
At despair. 7.
Well, one of them got a natural 16, so everybody here gets 1 attack against you, not including the guy that you are currently grappling.
Bring it on.
Yeah, really at this point. So that's good. We'll do these 4 attacks, and everybody just gets 1 attack, 1 free attack.
Great.
So, first pirate, that is going to be a 14 to hit.
Nope.
Second pirate, nat 16 for maximum damage. It's going to be 13 points of cutting damage. Second guy got another nat 16.
There we go. They're making up. They're making up for
13
you.
points of cutting. And then third pirate's got a natural 15 for a total of 17.
Still not gonna hit.
Not gonna hit. Okay, so he clinks off. And then the Reaver. Got a
Dang, they have to nat 16 to hit me.
That's crazy.
That's
We'll
disgusting.
just leave you there. We'll leave you there.
That's
You'll be
disgusting. What is your DV right now?
18.
Naturally?
Yeah,
fine. Yeah.
because of the helm.
Big boy.
Oh, they have
I
to
got the
crit you
plus
in
3
order
from the
to.
Damascus helm.
Man, regular pirates maybe aren't enough for you guys, but
You just call Zil Daddy is all I have to say.
everybody's just clinking off of your armor.
You call
which
me captain now.
I am the
brings
captain.
us- meaning that they're still here. Actually, I think they are. Because there's nowhere for them to go. Actually, there is somewhere.
Would the captain come with me?
I think actually. Just so you still have the captain.
Great.
I would say that you're probably occupying the space to do so. And with that, that's going to be end of the combat round, and I think that's going to be where we're going to call it for today.
Oh no.
Here at the bottom of this combat. Keep in mind what you want to do for the next time. Make a note of it, and we will pick things up. I didn't expect actually for the you guys to have that whole negotiation sequence beforehand.
That was good. That was fun.
Yeah, it was all Eclaas' idea.
So, yeah, negotiations.
And
And
it was
you
good.
guys, you guys did pretty good. And you guys, I don't know if you understood or not, but you got a decent amount of valuable information from this dude. Whether or not your negotiation works, you got
Yeah,
some good
Aishan
value.
Island is in tatters.
Yeah, that was concerning.
We'll have to go
he
to
said
Flomberg.
specifically Tuck Height. So
Yeah. We'll have to go to Flomberg and be like, everyone is in Flomberg now, in the lava pits,
in the
dying a heat stroke.
good time. But with that being the case, Max, your thoughts on today's session? How is combats now with the new? Does it feel much different with like your new like abilities or everything? I know like your character didn't change all that much.
Yeah, it doesn't feel a ton different for me.
It's nice not having
because
to tally your experience anymore though.
Just for the battle axe, my plate armor, I still need 2.
Mm.
It's weird tracking mana again.
Yeah, I need to figure out a way
Yeah.
to make that look on the character sheets to give it kind of its own like section. So
Yeah. So we're resurrecting the wheel.
heck yeah.
Brought that back out today. No, it was interesting. I mean, yeah, Zil is always prone to fight. He likes using his axes, especially now that he's got a new shiny one. So he wasn't the most thrilled to hear Luxalia's idea. It was a good idea. Zil didn't like the idea. Zil thought we should have just fight from the get-go. I thought Luxalia's idea was a good idea, and I was really impressed with how it went. everybody knows what I'm trying to do at this point if you have been paying attention.
Yeah.
With some very pointed questions earlier. So I'm gonna leave it
I'm
at
half
that.
expecting
Yeah,
at the beginning of next section to
At
or
this
session.
point, if we just get the captain, we could literally just sail away while their ship sinks to the bottom
Yeah,
of the.
my
bottom of the
initial plan was just distract the whole ship while Luxalia and Yuki got to safety and yeet on out of there. And yeah, just as we had time to think between rounds, like that plan evolved. Like, okay, get them not like actually my very first plan was use Rudon to take out their weapons, but none of them are on this deck, so that didn't work because none of them were on this deck. So I can't
forgot
knock over
there's
the guy
more-
manning.
There's more guys that have come out.
I can't knock over the guys on the ballista if I can't see the ballista. So then the second plan was go for the captain, and like I said, we probably all see where that's going. But if you don't, tune in next time.
Yeah, it's gonna
shouldn't be a
freaking
surprise.
something. And I didn't half expect when it was just you up on this deck. I genuinely thought, Max, that it's like you have a freaking death sentence because you are just immediately gonna get surrounded. But but the fact that literally they need nat 16s to hit you with their attacks, at least for the normal pirates, I'm just like sitting here like, well,
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be that challenging for them. That's why I used Barsul that first round. It's like, because I had the same thought as you. I'm like, I maybe have 2 rounds before I need to get out. Like, I need to make my. Actually, if I was able to disengage that first round, I would have been out of there this turn. But I couldn't get this. But the cape needs a support action, and I couldn't use one for it. So I'm like, well, I'm stuck on the boat. So I'm praying that I can get a turn in I can use.
I'm just
the support
happy that I've done a few attacks to the team.
action.
I like.
You hit me. I've been hit 5 times now. So
Oh really?
yeah, you got up to 5.
Wow.
So it's still, because of the realization of what it takes for them to hit me, it's not as concerning, but there's still a little concern of like, can I pull this off?
Yeah, looks like he's just gonna pillar of light you, and you'll be good.
Because like for example, like some of these other guys, like the Reavers have a higher hit, the Bosun has a higher hit,
Yeah.
the First Mate has a higher hit, the Captain has a higher hit. It's just the
So it's like
regular pirates that are like struggling.
It's not as dire as at first thought, but it is in no way like smooth sailing. Pun totally intended.
Right.
Yeah, the Rudon didn't change almost at all. Their save did, which makes it a little more interesting. Like the way the save is. Other than that, it didn't really change. I think Barsul changed in what I add to my DV,
Right.
and I think it actually went up. I have the old one. I can check. I still have the old one written down. No, actually Barsul didn't change at all. Yeah, so I not much has changed for me combat-wise. I've got a few new attack actions that I can use that is just not the current priority.
Right.
So we'll see how those play in. But yeah, it was interesting kind of being the support behind the scenes guy for a bit.
I am curious to see though, like once you guys start going into like kind of like how your new attacks and like combos and stuff. Because I know like right now it's been just kind of like a lot of range stuff, and a lot of the people like on board the ship, like as far as like Luxalia, Yuki, and Belbin and Thordane, haven't really been able to do much with like their combat up until this point. Until Zill's basically the only one who's been just like swinging as much as he can. But yeah, you guys have like the new combos and stuff that you guys can use and all of that. And so I am genuinely curious to see like how like that's gonna change, if you guys are just gonna shred through. If you guys even have like combat, depending on what you guys decide to do. Like Yuki said, it's just like all we have to do is just like grab the captain and then just like let the ship sink.
Even the other
Titanic.
cargo ship, well, even the other cargo ship, it can't go anywhere. It doesn't have masts.
Yeah.
So it's done for. Like we could literally, you don't even need to grab the captain. We could literally just leave right now and just be fine.
The thought process for trying to grab the captain though is it might help with whatever's going on.
I agree.
With Jackman
I
now.
think we should try to grab the captain, but say you can't grab the captain, we'll just get out of there.
Yeah, I mean, with the more pirates coming on deck, yes, I still have more than enough HP, but
If you need Yuki, she can come help.
one bad turn, that HP is gone.
Well,
Like,
the
if
big
Kyle
thing
goes
is-
on a hot streak, one bad turn, I'm in rough shape. So
Yeah, I wonder though if
I'm out as soon as
we
I can.
get rid of the captains and the first mates and all those people, whether or not the pirates will be like, okay, well, you know, this is not worth it for us. We're just gonna die. And so what do? We probably, those who want to join us, let them join us. Those who don't, Titanic your way back to the bottom of the sea, kind of thing.
The other part is I'm really happy I finally got to use my new shiny axe. That's about it. No more comments there. I gotta swing it.
You got to use it in combat and its actual effect of just breathing underwater with it. So
Yeah.
pretty fancy. Dane, your thoughts on today's session?
Yeah, really fun session. As Max had said, I really liked the how to say it, like the negotiations that we had. It's funny because I oftentimes think, like, I don't know if this is how Cole's actually thinking, because I know Cole puts a lot of thought into it as Luxalia as a character, into what she does. Makes me wonder if she thinks, or Cole thinks, that we're just all hating on her for like doing it, kind of like how Belbin feels. Like Connor feels a little bit with Belbin, where we're just all hating on him because he's
just don't understand. Ugh, God.
But you know, like, I don't think that's necessarily the case. Again, we're just trying to play how our characters would play it, but at the same time, like, it made for very interesting negotiations for sure. And again, like Kyle said, we got some good information from it, but also we got to learn a little bit more about Luxalia's backstory.
Yeah, that
I
lore
think.
drop of Luxalia, that was unexpected.
So,
I partially do wonder if like Cole's been wanting an opportunity to drop lore of his character, just hasn't had the opportunity, and so I wonder if like this, like the bringing up the negotiations is a way to be able to do that.
yeah.
Maybe.
You know.
But I mean, aside from that, I think it's gone pretty well so far. Again, if Zill needs Yuki, she can always come over there and slice some heads. So if she needs to do that, she can. Again, I wonder how much like the pirates are after like will follow the orders once the actual like captain and first mates are dead. You know, like I really do wonder, like when faced with the situation, like we're just gonna let your boat sink and you'll be done for. You'll be Azale fodder. I do at some point, though. The only thing I will say, I wouldn't want to completely run away because I'm curious what they're taking to Skyspire Island on the cargo ship. So I think that'd be like nice to be able to investigate, even if we don't get anything from it. It'd be nice to be able to see like what they're actually taking over there, you know. So
I mean, like think about it this way though: if you say what you need to say, and there's like you like head back to Flomberge, you'll most likely still be able from Flomberge be able to see these ships out on the horizon to see if anybody's trying to come pick them up. You could just let them out there, do what you got to do at Flomberge, and then come back to the ship. If anybody's abandoned ship, they've abandoned ship. But
yeah, it's true.
It's just, like you
Yeah, we're
said,
not far
it's a
out,
vessel right now. Granted, that doesn't mean that they don't have like the supplies to be able to repair their masts like on board.
To be able to
True.
repair their massive holes in their hull.
These
That's
people
crazy.
don't have any holes in their hull. The basically was
No,
just
no,
the
I'm
one-
talking about the other people.
Oh yeah, this ship is a goner if they. Yeah, in 5 turns the ship is a goner basically. So
Yeah. Well, good to know. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, but I don't know. I just thought it was a really fun session. Again, getting back into the combat, getting back into the field things, having everyone on the combat field, including all of our crewmates, is kind of fun. Because the only other time that that's happened is with the Zale dude, and we weren't even doing anything. We were just running and trying to keep them alive, right?
mhm.
So this is like the first real like swashbuckling. Our crew is battling pirates and things like that. So it was good. I liked it.
I'm actually gonna have you guys roll for priority initiative right now for your characters for the next combat round, including Belbin and Thordane and Luxalia. So next combat round we can kind of reset things and start off without having to do that. So
Come on, Zil. Roll well.
That's
You
a
need this.
13 for Yuki. That's 7 priority initiative. For +7, I should say. 22 for Thordane.
oh,
All right, do you got Belbin and
I've got
Or do you want me-
Luxalia and
I can roll
Zil.
Belbin if you want me to. That's fine.
Yeah.
okay, Sil.
5.
5, nice.
What's wrong with you?
Luxalia.
13.
Belbin. Someone's got
No!
+8 to his initiative. What the?
Dang it.
Belbin got a 23.
Of course he did. Can you give that to me, please?
Yeah, right? Seriously.
Just gotta get the heck out of there.
Belbin's gonna jump onto
I'm
the
trying.
ship. Connor here.
Oh, and the crew. Let me roll for the crew. I probably should take an average of their scores. We'll just give them a +2. How does that sound?
There you go.
They got a 5.
Oh my. Oh.
They're down in the
my.
dregs. Alright, cool. Sweet. And with that being the case, these guys don't have any weapons. Oh yeah, next turn they will be able to fire a couple shots into Alamia's breath.
Ha. Good luck.
From
Ballistas.
their break. Let me roll their break real quick.
Can't hear you, Kyle, if you're talking.
Give me 1 second. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So 10 for theirs. All right, sweet. And with that being the case, Dane, any other thoughts before we go into?
No,
hey,
I
go
think
Nugs.
Yeah, I think it was a fun session. Get back in combat. The one thing I like about this game is like the adventure part is very fun, but it's also nice to get back to combat occasionally. And especially moving from AME, Adventures in Middle Earth. Oh my gosh. So much more damage in this character. Granted, my character in Adventures in Middle Earth is a support character, so that makes sense. But the fact that she can actually do stuff, Yuki, it feels good. It feels good. Yep, that's it though.
Cool. For me on my end, yeah, it was good. I was really curious. I'm always so curious, like when you guys leave a session and then it's just like combat is like on the horizon, like what you guys are actually going to do. Because I always know that there's like those of you, like for example, like Cole, that are just like, maybe combat's not the most important. So it's like I'm like also thinking as a DM, like what are they going to do in like this case to in place of combat or whatever the case. But yeah, it's always fun to just kind of see. I have a plan, but that always either goes out the window or like it gets more exciting and I have to play on my toes too. So. Yeah, it's good. I'm very pumped to be able to see what you guys end up doing here and how this combat does resolve itself, and also the adventure going forward. Like once you guys reach land at Flomberge, like what's gonna be going down there. So cool. With that being the case, why don't we go ahead and do some very quick announcements. So as mentioned earlier, As far as stream schedule for the rest of the week, we got next week is a full week of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I look forward to me playing some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We'll probably be actually getting close to completing the game. There's 17 chapters in the game, and we're like finishing up chapter 12. So between those 3 sessions, that's like 9 hours worth of playing. So we'll probably, by the end of next week, get pretty close to finishing. Maybe. I could be wrong. It could be there's still lots more to go. But we'll see. It's really very exciting. I love the game, and it's been yesterday's gameplay was really, really fun. So hopefully it continues to do so. As always, though, we do post our schedule at the beginning of each week on the Discord, so make sure to check that out. And then also we post our Golden Live notifications. Like, for example, like if we are running late or if anything changes, we will let you know so you do never miss a stream. Dane, do you have anything else to add? Oh, he's out. Gotta let the dogs out. No worries, no worries. And then with other stuff. So a couple ways that you can support us here at Fantasy Forge Studios is in the creation of the game Everlast. We are currently funding art for next sets for our next TCG sets, and also for the Tabletop RPG through Coffee of the Realm, and also through Fragrances of the Realm. They are our scented candle and coffee lines. That's how we... it really helps us to paying our artists for all of their hard work. It's amazing. Again, Woodland Realm is great. The Helix blend is also really good if that's of interest to you. But also, if you want to support just Fantasy Forge Studios as a whole, one way that you can do it is by Daiseki. They're a Japanese sweets and luxury treats company. They have a number of Japanese snack boxes, from their Omakase box, which has more popular Japanese snacks, to their Omakase Lux box, which has more traditional Japanese snacks. If you do order from them, say that Fantasy Forge sent you at checkout. That's how we get credit for our next free Omakase box giveaway. And it also does support us and a small family business in Tokyo, Japan. We also are... if you do put your Twitch name as well, you'll get more raffle tickets to potentially winning that free Omakase box when it does happen. But you got to do that at checkout as well. They have free international shipping, and yeah, they're great people. So yeah, it's kind of a 2-for-1, helping out 2 people while also helping to support the channel too. It's really, really great. But I don't think there's anything else. Why don't we go ahead and close everything down in prayer? In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. O Jesus, my Savior and Redeemer, Son of the living God, behold, we kneel before you and offer you our reparation. We would make amends for all the blasphemies uttered against your holy name, for all the injuries done to you in the Blessed Sacrament, for all the irreverence shown towards your Immaculate Virgin Mother, for all the slanders spoken against your spouse, the Holy Catholic Church. O Jesus, who has said, if you ask the Father anything in my name, he will give it to you. We pray and beseech you for all our brethren who are in danger of sin. Shield them from every temptation to fall away from the true faith. Save those who are even now standing on the brink of the abyss. To all of them, give light and knowledge of the truth, courage and strength for the conflict with evil, perseverance in faith and active charity. For this do we pray, most merciful Jesus, in your name, unto God the Father, with whom you live and reign in the unity of the Holy Spirit, world without end. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. God bless you all. Thank you all so much for joining us, and may Alomnia guide you. I will see you on Monday for some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and have an amazing weekend. Bye, everybody.
Bye.